Oh my goodness, I am very, very shadowed. Is there anything white? Like, how do I mess? Well, that's part. That's why I don't ever set this thing down directly facing me, is because that just blots everything out. So doing some feng shui on this piano table that I use as a table. I guess it's a minor improvement. Um, I have nothing particular planned. I'm just after giving Grand Theft Auto 5 a rest and pretty much frying my brain out playing it for like 3 days straight. I'm just back on. It's 9:45 on a Tuesday night. I can go. Hey, what's up?
I'm sorry.
It's no big
Are you
deal.
live streaming?
Yeah.
Is anyone on there?
I don't think so. Not yet. I started a minute ago.
Oh, I just want to ask, do you know anything about this new Portland mayor that's like running?
I don't really know anything about any of the candidates
she
that aren't
seems,
Ted.
Well, I don't know much.
Ted.
It was like an ad, but she's running against him. She's a fourth generation Portlander, and she's a Black Lives Matter activist, and apparently is really into racial injustice and stuff. So it sounded.
Which is something that doesn't get enough attention in this city.
What?
It doesn't get enough attention in this city, especially
so
historically speaking.
She sounds like a welcome alternative to
Yeah.
that guy.
Yeah. Well, we're getting infiltrated with the ads right now, of course.
Yeah, so
logically.
we'll have to look up more, but she sounds like a decent. I think her name's Teresa.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Anything's an improvement over Ted Wheeler.
Yeah, fuck that.
Everybody all of a sudden loves him because he was one of the mayors that like put pressure on Kate Brown to start the whole stay-at-home thing, and it's like, wow, original. Yeah, so no good. Tanya. Okay, I'm currently doing a mission. I have to go get a tow truck to pull this car out. My problem is I don't remember where we keep it. I know we stole a tow truck and kept it somewhere, but I don't remember where it is. And I'm not getting. Maybe if I check the map. Ammunition, point of interest. That's vague. Okay, ammunition, point of interest. But what is? I don't know what that means. Yeah, so I'm just stopped in the middle of the street. So I have nothing planned for this live stream. I'm just doing it because it's just another Tuesday night, and who gives a shit. So I'm just gonna play and talk from time to time, and if people want to hop on and if you have any questions that intrigue you, I might answer them. Oh. There's still a little liquid left at the bottom of that glass. Not mystery liquid. I know what was in that glass. But yeah. Now if you want to throw some questions my way or whatever, or provide some subject matter for me to chit-chat about while I'm gaming, trying to multitask and figure out where the F to find a freaking tow truck. Yeah, feel free to do that. Obviously, certain questions are probably off limits. Anything offensive or derogatory, anything like that. So says the guy who I feel like after about 30 minutes, I'm just going to forget this is even here, and then I'll just say something really horrible and realize, that live stream, that's out there now. Someone saw me say something horrible. I don't know what that would be, but yeah, I'm just fooling around with you and trying to figure out where to get a damn... Wait, this looks kind of... I don't know. I'm seeing cars behind a fence. I don't think there's a tow truck here, though. But anyway, it's a nice Tuesday night. Why does this car get special attention? There's just this one car just like fenced off. Well, it's mine now. Oh, I mean, I guess it looks almost like an older retro car, like a 70s model. I don't know why it's fenced off by itself up here, or maybe it's just a foreign car that kind of looks old but isn't. I'll be damned if I know. And you can't even, the car doesn't even have enough girth to get a fence open. So I'm just here, trying to figure out what the hell to do because I don't know where to get a tow truck. You know what? I'm going to pull my phone out and call this Barry guy back who is not very useful. Watch, he won't answer. Wow. Good, you alt-right looking bastard. I'm glad you almost got run over. I'm going to hit this fire hydrant for no reason. What are you guys doing? That guy was following that woman a little too close. I was not. I don't know if I liked it. What are you looking at? I don't know. I've just been going around in a circle because I don't know where to get a tow truck. I feel like, wait, I'm in a big yard there. Maybe there's a tow truck in that yard. I feel like they wouldn't make it this difficult if there wasn't something close by. And this is a big area. Oh my God, there's a tow truck right there. God, I'm so dumb. There's literally a tow truck right there. I knew it had to be something simple like that. Because why would you send me off just hoping to find something? Stupid. Okay. Oh man, those pallets didn't have a chance. Okay, gotta remember this. So this is why that crackhead chick kept having me do all those. All right, yeah, I know how to do it. Back it in, nice and slow. Slow and steady wins the race. There we go, and we are a go. Good, because I was probably gonna be cool, acting like a stupid dumbass there for a very lengthy period of time. Eventually, I would have just changed characters. Like, there's nothing for me to do. Oh man, well that guy's car is totaled. Hope you got good insurance. This Barry guy's annoying me. I'm driving around, putting my health and life and security on the line, transporting stuff around for him. Who the hell does he think he is? Well, a very sharp-dressed, probably well-to-do white guy, so I mean, what do you expect? I'm a white guy too, but I'm not sharply dressed or well-to-do, so kind of the worst-case scenario of a white guy. I'm a white guy, which means I've got privilege, but other than my whiteness, a lot of the usual privileges kind of stop there because I'm also like flat broke and have always, well, whatever. That's not really the point. I don't know. I'm just babbling incoherently, which kind of happens when you're multitasking. I'm still going to lose this car. I'm driving like a lunatic. Look out of it. The liquor hole. Whoa, lady, get off your cell phone and maybe I won't hit you. But no, I probably still will hit you. Because that's the way things go in Los Santos, A lot more stuff going on out there than going on in my world right now. I will tell you that much. You're going to make me pull into this tight little driveway? Come on, dude. You should have planned ahead. And whoever's car that is, they going to get dented up. All right, we made it. Release the vehicle. Oh. Okay, Barry, I dropped your car off, you douchebag. Yeah. Dick. Dude. Calm down. God, I'm helping a lunatic. Shut up, Barry. You're a dick. What is this? I see an actor's mask. Is my boy about to become an actor? You better holster that weapon. Get out of my way, dick. Is this it? Oh, hi, people. I see people. Wait, so that was all just about leading me to a store that sells hats? I don't wear hats in game and in life. I need to get rid of this gun because I feel like I just start just shooting accidentally, and that doesn't get any of us anywhere. Again, not in life or in game. And I hope that's not your car I just stole. That guy was just sitting on the fence like, hey, I know that guy. Okay, what do I do now? Like, I'm done helping this guy. I'm done helping you out, Barry, you ungrateful bastard. And this is kind of a... Ooh, wait. I like that car. Enos? The brand of this car is... that says Enos, right? All right. Wow, that car is not as nice. Not as nice as I thought. Get in there. Yep. No. Oh my, I can't get out of this driveway. Someone's coming down here. I can't get out of here. Okay, what is this guy running from? Why is our helicopter flying so low? All these questions and more on the next episode of Steve killing some time on a Tuesday night. Usually my live streams have an objective. This is literally like, this car's too weak to take out a fire hydrant. I'm just hanging out. Like, I have nothing really planned for this. I'm just hanging out, and where's this gonna take? What is this? That's just a stairwell. So I'm just, hanging out, letting the stream go, and and I'm a classic multitasker. So as I'm playing, obviously I'll be watching what I'm doing, but also beyond that, sorry, I need that car. That car's better than the thing I had. Sorry, ma'am, it will be returned without a dent. I promise you. What is happening? Oh, it's probably the police. I'm like, why are all these red dots showing up? So anyway, it's just another day, another night. Nothing's changed in 2 months. I'm finally planning on. I've been growing my quote quarantine beard, my no shave quarantine, but I'm at that point where my hair stops. Oh, hello, officer of the law. How are you doing this evening? I am at a point where my hair has just kind of generally stopped growing, which it does. It gets to a point where it just stops. Like how my facial hair looks now, little though you can see of it, this is how it's looked for a long time. Like a month ago, I looked pretty much like this. I think I'm going to die. Maybe not. All right, stunt jump. All right, good for me. But I'm trying to work out more today. I've used we have a oh, and then I crashed into somebody. There's a lot of things happening. But yeah, I was on the treadmill today, and I'm trying to work out more. While we're in quarantine, remembering that about 80% of my exercise I got was from my work, because on my feet walking around for 7-8 hours, that's where a lot of my exercise, and now that's gone, so I gotta maintain a regiment somewhere, or else I'm just gonna feel just beat all the time, and nobody wants that. But so I was on the treadmill that we have today, which I haven't used till today, and we have it set up because, well, it was kind of just sitting around, and but now it's like, well, we have to spend more time in house, so here we are. Holy Jesus! Sorry, I just about died. My game character, not me personally. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I used the treadmill today, and our cat Stella, like, started walking up, started slowly, like she was like looking at me, then looking at the couch, then looking at me, looking at the couch. She'd been asleep on the couch, so I'm thinking she's going to go over the couch. Then suddenly she just kind of starts walking towards me. And there's a little like red plastic thing you connect to your clothes, and it like magnetizes to the treadmill itself, so that if there's any kind of it, like you pass out or something crazy, you can it will just stop and you won't get thrown to the ground or, tossed off of it violently or anything. It automatically turns it off. So the moment she started taking a step towards me, I pulled the thing off because I'm like, I want to know what you're up to, Kat. And then she literally jumped onto the treadmill with me. And fortunately, it had stopped by the time she got there because she was just like leaped on there. And I'm like, Kat, you were out of your day. You lost your mind. So that was the most exciting thing that happened today. Other than that, I've been doing some research I'm looking into a lot of cold cases and John and Jane Doe cases in primarily the state of Oregon. Although one case I got really wrapped up into I don't know for certain, probably unlikely, but it may potentially be tied to a case that primarily happened in like around the Washington-Idaho border. So, getting a little bit outside of my comfort zone, even though, doing Oregon cases is not me being in my comfort zone. It's just that's a primary focus of my channel. So I've started, I'm probably going to be doing a succession of videos about like cold cases and unsolved cases, and particularly older cases too. I understand logistically, like, a case of somebody who disappeared 2 months ago is much more likely to be solved than someone who disappeared 20 years ago. But the longer people vanish, or the longer people are vanished, the longer, or, the more people just kind of have this attitude of like, well, that's way in the past and it's time to just move on. And it's like, no, stuff like this needs to be resolved if it can be. And I feel like, in most cases, not everyone, but most cases, there's always the potential that a very old, we've seen cases that are 80, 90, 100 years old, some over 100 years old, that have been solved using various possible methods. Get out of the road, horse. So, and just, the older cases get, the more easily they're forgotten. And a lot of these cases I've never even seen before. So, you get sucked in a lot because you're like, what is this? What is this particular case? Where is it going to lead me? What am I going to, take away from it? What can I add, using my YouTube channel best I can? What can I do using my channel to, help get attention towards this? And a lot of these cases don't get, like there's lots of people on YouTube that talk about, mysterious disappearances, John Doe cases, things like that. I subscribe to a lot of these channels. Well, not a lot, but a few. But, and a lot of them are, cases that are also obscure to me. People disappear all over the world. So I'm just trying to get a little attention towards, my little corner of the universe over here in Oregon. And I'm particularly interested in cases that happen in Eastern Oregon because Eastern Oregon is a lot more desolate than the west side. Most of Oregon's population is west of the Cascade Range. Probably about almost 2/3 of the state's population lives in or around the Willamette Valley. But you go out Eastern Oregon, Eastern Oregon is very, there's lots of desert land. It's very open in parts. So there's a lot of, mysterious things that can happen out there because there's so much space and there's so many areas one could go to and not even know, or like no one would see them. If you're going to do something crooked or, someone's going to get murdered, you can find yourself an area that's, 15, 20 miles away from the nearest person, the nearest home, the nearest town. So I've really gotten hooked back into that. And I did a few cases like that about a year and a half ago, kind of around the start of 2019. I started looking into a lot of cases that were happening in like the Salem, Corvallis area back in like the 70s and 80s and did a succession of videos on those. And then I kind of stopped. I was kind of doing that because it allowed me to dig my heels into cases that were in places I couldn't just get to really easily. So odds are I wasn't going to actually make it to the locations where they happen. And because of that, it made it easier to do some video content at home. And so I did that for a little while, and then I think I probably, because I know a couple of months after that I really started. That was when I first started getting really into the historic murders of Portland thing, and that's been the bread and butter of the content I've made over the past year. And that brings us to now. Ooh. Stuff's happening. Yeah, cold. I know. I love cold cases. I love cold cases too. And actually, yeah. As far as like web sleuth, yeah, I've because if you find a case, a lot of the main resources you'll find will be like kind of passive newspaper articles on them, and the kind of things where you're not really going to get much beyond the. I mean, I'm glad that some news whoever is going to be covering a case, but a lot of it's like, oh, did you know that in 1963 so and so disappeared? It's a cold case. There's not a lot to go on, and they'll give you one or two, just enough details to kind of keep you interested. And then in the end, like the article really doesn't take you anywhere. But when you get to like personal websites and websites where and there's forums where people will obviously post and talk about stuff and say, hey, what do you think of this, this is an interesting whatever, and you can get potentially a collective group myself looking into cases, and I start thinking of stuff and I'll be like, oh, what about this? Hey, maybe this happened. I have a question about this. That's just me as one person having whatever thoughts are in my mind. And someone's trying to scam her. The last time someone tried to scam a ride home from me in this game, her crazy boyfriend started chasing us, and then she jumped out of my car and called me a weirdo. Ungrateful. But yeah, anyway, as I was saying, it's nice to, all the stuff that you think of on your own, in terms of a certain case. But, when you go online or go into a forum, there's all these other people that are along the same line. So you'll start looking at what people have said, and all of a sudden you see someone write something. You're like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. And then you get, and then of course there's websites, and of course, you like anything else, you have to like really monitor how reliable is such and such a website. Because, well, for the obvious reasons. But yeah, it's always good when you can find websites that are devoted to a certain type of thing. Like they're devoted to missing persons cases, they're devoted to cold cases, they're devoted to this, devoted to research that maybe you haven't done yet. Saying my connection's unstable. Hold on. All right, I think we're still alive. Of course. Oh, this woman's talking to me while I'm playing, and I'm not even paying any attention to her. I'm giving you a ride. I don't need to hear your life story. But yeah, so yeah, some of these cases, like some of the best information I found has been on just, generally, websites just run by people that post about certain subject matter. And, if you don't know whether you can trust a site or not, get the information that they're posting and then go search elsewhere. One of the best ways to verify or vindicate information is to find verification elsewhere. It's like, I don't know if anybody else had testing, but, when I was in middle school and high school, they would always make us, we had to do our state testing and this and that and whatever. And whenever you had to do like a math test, you'd answer the question and show your work, and it's like, oh, okay. But in a new way. Yeah, this is awesome. Anyway, yeah, I always hated having to do big math tasks anyway. I mean, there's definitely a technical aspect to what I do in terms of like doing research and wanting to find details, but I'm also like a video maker and a writer and a this and a that. I'm not a math guy. Oh, that's right. I'm driving you home. I'm sorry. I totally forgot I was driving. That was unnecessary. Ursula. Her name's Ursula. What's up, Ursula? Whew. Okay, so I was driving her home. I didn't know what I was doing there for a while. Oh, so you live in this sketchy house. I mean, I guess it comes with a view. So, yeah, so that's what's been going on recently. I've been, after I got through my initial GTA rush and realized my brain was going to fall out of my head if I didn't start doing work. I mean, one of the few benefits of quarantine is, I have time to do content that I otherwise might be postponing, might be putting on the back burner, and I can't complain about how I don't have any time to do it. And of course, if I have the time, I want to be productive, and I might even start tomorrow. Like, I've been doing a lot of note taking on these things, and obviously I want to do as much research as possible and make sure I've covered. I want to get to that point where literally every resource I'm looking at is giving me information I already know, because that means I've probably gotten, all there really is to know at the moment. But tomorrow I'm thinking I might start actually recording some of these videos here. And I might even, just for the sake of it, because I usually use my GoPro or my iPhone, I might even use my poor DSLR has gotten like no use in the last year, because I use it for film. I don't want to overuse it on little projects like YouTube stuff. I want it to still be in good working condition when my next film project comes along, which we'd probably be working on right now if it wasn't for this Corona thing. I literally had a script about 90% done. Had an actress friend of mine that I've done lots of stuff with. We were there. We were ready to go. And then, boom, we frickin', I mean, like, we right when we got to this point where it was like we were going to have to stop, we were officially in talks. I pretty much had a lead actress and just needed to go from there. And yet, here we are. Who knows when that's going to happen? So we message each other like once every like 2 weeks, like, hey, I'm still alive. Someday we'll make a movie again. Someday. God, who knows when. Oh man, I wasn't planning on rambling that long. I was planning on just kind of like saying stuff here and there, mostly just gaming, and just like if anything interesting comes along, hey, here you are, here I am. Interesting things are happening in the world. I don't even know how long I'm going to play this game. I'm just going to play it for a while. I'm kind of at this oh god. I don't know how this car is still working. I have destroyed this thing. But I am trying to get through here. I guess I'm trying to get to some I don't know. It said location of interest, and that's all the information it says. So I don't even know where I'm going, but I'm going to go there just out of pure curiosity. Man, maybe I need to see if I can get, because if you go long enough without doing it, you can, from newspapers.com is the main resource that I use for like old cases I study, like, obviously my historic murders of Portland. Newspapers.com is the main resource that I use for like old cases I study, like, obviously my historic murders of Portland series. I didn't know about pretty much any of these cases till I found them in newspaper articles. A local historian, the one time that I met him, interviewing him for my documentary, Woman in the River, oh shit, I just got thrown from my car, but I'm still alive. But when I met JD Chandler, local historian, and I don't even know if he was talking to me. I think it was when I was getting all my equipment set up. And there was just some passive conversation going on independently of me. And Um, um, sorry, I thought somebody was coming down here. Oh, my old beat up car's still here that I got thrown from. I guess it's still working because someone just crashed into it. But yeah, one of the things that I heard JD Chandler say, because I'm like, this guy knows about things I've never even heard about. And he was like, I just go and I look at old newspapers. You know, that's what I do. And I interviewed him for my documentary. A little over a year before I started doing historic murders of Portland stuff. But I always had that information back, like that suggestion in the backside of my head. And so I figured, oh, well, I'll start using one of these newspaper, archival sites, and I can start finding things about local history that I probably didn't know existed. And all these murder cases I've stumbled onto, 90% of them, you don't find any, nobody's blogging about them. You're just, man, don't hit me. But yeah, you're just, you don't even big, like I just did a documentary, or like about a 50-minute video that I post eventually on my channel. And it's like, obviously don't want to give any details away on it, but it was a big enough case, and there was a Historic Murders of Portland episode. I just kind of made it its own thing. I felt like it deserved that. And it was this big murder case. And I've big, wild stories in these newspapers, and you're like, how is this not prominent Portland lore? And it's not. So you find, and that's what I love about these websites, or these newspaper archival sites, is you can find stuff that nobody, even local historians, don't even talk about. Maybe just because they haven't found it yet, and they probably would talk about it otherwise. Stella, I'm trying to vlog. You're being very rude right now. That's Stella. She's the one that hopped onto the treadmill I was walking on today, and she wanted to go for a ride. Okay, so I got to that point of interest, and once I got there, it just, like, the marker showing the point of interest just disappeared, so it couldn't have been that significant of a place of interest. Pausing for a moment. Oh my, what is it? Hold on, I'll be right back. It's one of the things about live streaming, sometimes you just abandon it for a moment. What's going on here? What toy do you have? What do you have? Oh, it's just a carrot, huh? Come here, come here. Okay. There's all that chit chat. Why don't you come and hang out with me? Yeah, you. Why don't you come and hang out, Stella, instead of meowing over your carrot? Yeah. For those interested, I don't know, well, you can see her. There she is. There's Stella. Hello, Stella. Hello, say hi to America, or I guess the world. Yeah, that's Stella. She's the one that tried to hop on the treadmill while I was using it today. And she likes to come down here. Sometimes she hops on the sofa. Either of our cats periodically will hop onto the sofa, but they can't ever just get on, like just walk up and then leap on. It's always like they walk up and then they have to kind of sniff. Because, whenever a cat is interested in something, they have to kind of sniff and rub their cheek against it. Oh, there we go. This is another thing. Oh, of course she stops. Come on, do it again. She claws the hell out of, like, she's clawed it up so bad. The door frame that it's like, we're not even worried about it. Like, who gives a crap about property value at this point? Because that's when she gets really wild and crazy, is when she'll just climb up and just start aggressively sharpening her claws. And it's like, what are you going to do? We're not going to try stopping her now. We just kind of accept that it's a thing and move on with our lives. Yeah. So where'd you go, Stella? I don't know. She's probably looking for food. The next room over is, well, it's half of it's a laundry room. The other half is primarily just the cat's eating area. We have to have them eat down here because we've got a mutt who will go after any amount of food that is remotely around. Like, even a couple of days ago, we got some stuff postmated, and my girlfriend's sister got I think it was like a pretzel or something like that, like one of those big pretzels. Left the room for half a second, comes back, and our dog had already eaten half of it. Oh, it's meowing again. What is it? Use your words. You hear that? Do you hear how dramatic that sounds? And it's literally, that's the meow she does when she has a toy or she's found something and she wants you to know about it. It's just like this, like, Stella. I can't even see her. And I'm going off the road because this car is shot. She's hijacking my performance is what she's doing. For real? Really? She sounds like she's right behind me, and yet she's not even in the room. She's got the pipes, you know? She can just belt it out. Oh my God, this car is so shot, and yet apparently, oh, well, I guess not anymore. There was a red marker, like there was something nefarious going on. You know what? I've been you for a while, Franklin. I'm gonna switch you up for my favorite, which is Trevor. Trevor's the redneck of the group. Stella. I wish I had if I had a little bit of food, a little piece of meat or something, she'd be up here in a second. You know you would. I don't know what she's doing. She also might be on the staircase. She'll sometimes just go to the top of the staircase and meow till someone comes to her aid. But yeah, you know, I'm doing what I do. Where are you, Trevor? Whose house is this? This is not your house. Why are you just drunk in front of somebody else's house? Oh, I collected a scrap. Oh man, do some weightlifting. Yeah, I'm getting out of here. I don't know what this is. I don't know what kind of random beachfront property you stumbled into drunk, and the people who own it just haven't noticed you're there yet. But you need to get out of here. This is not your home. Yeah, this is a gated property. A redneck like you is not going to have gate. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize that was going to open up. So I just had you run like you were going to. Oh yeah, there's your little scooter. Get on your scooter and start doing stuff. Oh yeah, that's right. He can. Oh, sorry, man. You know, you shouldn't. Actually, I was in his lane. God, this thing has no handle. This is the most difficult. Whoa, kid. I don't know why I called him a kid. That reminds me of like this road rage incident. You know, I'm stealing your car, by the way, in case you're wondering. I remember, did you just call me a dickhead? Well, now you're really going to lose your car to this man who's only in his underwear. Why that's the case, I don't know. Where did your clothes go, dude? Okay, so later, goodbye, ma'am. Yeah, I was probably, I don't know, 15, 16, just abhorrent fear of any kind of confrontation with anyone. And I was just driving with my dad one day. My dad's the polar opposite. My dad will get confrontational with you over any. My dad's a big road rager. How he hasn't had his ass beaten at least once, I don't know. And that driving around with my dad was always a nightmare because he was always anybody he could just you know, who was just doing something slightly wrong, he would just go just like, oh yeah, look at that. And he would like, you know, he would kind of mess with them. He'd pull up next to them and kind of like yell something out his window, but it was never like angry or, I mean, it was angry, but it was never like, you know, what you'd expect, like, What are you driving, you dumb piece of shit? He would try to be like, I guess, more analytical than that, but either way, it was still dumb. And I remember, like, we were driving, and all of a sudden there was like this, and this guy like pulled up next to us, and it was like he almost hit us or we almost hit him. I don't know where the guy came from. And so he pulls up and kind of cuts, and my dad pulls off to the side of the road. He literally stops for this guy so that he can proactively yell at this dude. And now, mind you, I'm about 15, 16 years old. My dad's about 40, he's pushing 50. And the guy that was in this other vehicle, he's like 30 something. And so even though I was kind of like really unnerved, because I'm like, oh, it's a road, so I'm just like tensed up and don't want to. I also thought it was hilarious that this guy kept calling my dad kid. That was like his way of insulting my dad. He'd be like, hey, look, kid, why don't you learn how to drive, kid? I'm like, why are you calling my dad kid? He's obviously like 15 years younger than you. I don't know. I still remember this one time where, I don't know, my dad was pissed at this, I don't know, mad at somebody who was driving in a van, and it looked like it was a bunch of women in a van. And we pull up to a stop, and we're right next to them, but slightly behind them. And yeah, and my dad just has his window rolled down, and they have one of their windows is slightly cracked open. My dad just starts just instigating road rage that doesn't need to happen, but like at a very passive level, because it's just him just yelling. And then like you see this hand come up to the window and just push it shut. And my dad's like, oh yeah, you close that window. Oh, you'll show me. I'm like, just completely unnecessary. None of this was ever necessary. There was never like a time that somebody did something bad enough to require this kind of aggressive response from my dad, but he was just one of those people. You know. I'm sorry. There's so much multitasking. I'm trying to figure out where a place is now, but here's a road. Get out of the road, dear. I don't. Wait. What is this music? Get me my 80s station. Yeah, you know me. I'm the guy that doesn't like. There is like one 80s radio, or it's not necessarily radio station, or 80s radio station. It's more just like kind of classic rock. Let's see what's on that station, because it's like the only station I actually want to listen to. Now, if it's a song I don't recognize, then I'm not going to know that I'm on the channel. Wings. Okay, this is a rap song, so obviously that's the name of the song, and it's not the band. Def Leppard, here we go. Gotta have your photograph. It makes the journey through the dark of night in my car that would never survive this kind of terrain in real life. It makes it better when you got tunes. I'm never going to figure out where this spot is that I'm trying to get to. I think I kind of know where I'm going. Oh man, it's just I don't care anymore again. Yep, Phil Collins. I don't care anymore. As I crash my car into a tree. You know what happens? It happens. Oh, no. Okay. Yes, I do. Because I'm playing Grand Theft Auto 5, so it's obviously a lot more contemporary. But of course, I grew up, well, not really grew up, but my younger years. Oh, Grand Theft. I remember when I got my first Xbox, and I did essentially with Grand Theft Auto Vice City what I'm doing now. I literally just drove around and tried to instigate chases from cops for like 7 hours. But of course, Vice City is set in the 80s, so like every music station plays the music I want to hear. I I don't hate all contemporary music, but I'm one of these guys that I just, well, we all like what we individually like, but I remember like, being a teenager and then being a young adult and all these young people that I knew were totally into music that I was not into. And they would always be like, hey, what kind of music you listen to? And I always be like, what's your favorite song? I don't know. Because I was always just like, I always knew like once I started saying who I really liked, half the people I was saying it to wouldn't even know who I was talking about. But I listened to some music growing up, but not a lot. Um, And yeah, from about the time I was like 9 to like 14, I didn't listen to music. I just didn't. It's interesting. And then I kind of discovered music really when I was like about the time I turned 15. Um, and well, what the heck am I saying? And and so I mean, when I wanted to discover music, it's the end of the 90s. So there's not Spotify, there's no YouTube, there's barely internet for the average person. So the way I discovered music was I raided my dad's cassette collection and I raided his vinyl. So of course, when I discovered music, I was discovering music from, mostly the 70s and 80s. And that was how I discovered a lot of my, I've never really diverted from that. My favorite music is from the 70s and 80s, and that stands to this day. I'm probably here at a bad time again. I'm trying to do this one mission. Whose van is this? The original cowboy builder. What is that about? I don't know. There's just a construction van just here by itself. Very suspicious. Come on. So anyway, yeah, I'm just not into a lot of music done like mid 90s and on. I mean, there's rare exceptions to that, but for the most part, I pretty much hate. Well, in this EDM stuff, I can't handle. I can't deal. It's just maybe I wouldn't hate it so much if it wasn't so much completely the same thing over and over again, like just nauseatingly repetitive. But anyway, I want to get off music. Woohoo! Are we getting subs here? Oh, stop paying attention. That was a perfect don't text and drive moment right there. I looked down at the comments for a second and I just plowed my van into a guardrail. Don't text and drive. Ooh, I think I ruined this. I'm just going to take it back to where I was. Woo! What channel am I on? Oh man, back to I don't care anymore. And by the way, Phil Collins is not my most favorite artist in the world, but I don't appreciate the hate that his music has gotten. There's like people that just visceral hatred, and I'm like, come on. He's such a freaking nice guy in real life too. Every interview I see him do, every time he meets up with people, he's just like, "Oh, hi, everybody." Of course, with an accent through your valley. Why does Trevor not have clothes on? I mean, that kind of just comes and goes as you switch between characters. He either has his clothes on or doesn't. Please tell me I'm here at a time I can do this mission. Oh, maybe I'm too far away. Okay. That's okay, that's like a lot of stuff to do. Okay, good job, Trevor. You managed to find some clothes. That was the most important thing as far as I was concerned. Whew. I'm also a mad Genesis fan. But see, a lot of people think Genesis, they think Phil Collins' other band. But when they initially started, Phil Collins was just their drummer. How did I get onto music history? Well, I love Genesis. You know, I just do. And but yeah, you know, especially if like, you know, you haven't really listened to a band, you just kind of know the general information. A lot of people think Genesis is just kind of Phil Collins' other band. And it's like, no, that Genesis started without Phil Collins. And Peter Gabriel was their front man. And you know, when he left, they had to sorry, I'm doing a mission and talking. And yeah, so they're like first like 6 albums were well, their first 2 albums, they didn't have Phil Collins, and he joined by their 3rd album, and he was just their drummer. And Peter Gabriel was, you know, the leading man, and I loved that period of Genesis. Because they did really long songs, and they were really just kind of wild and crazy. You know, Phil Collins is incredibly underrated as a drummer. You listen to some of the stuff he was doing in the 70s with Genesis, and yeah, very underrated as a drummer. I assume I'm sending these to Cletus. So there you go, Cletus. You're welcome. Yep. You're welcome. Okay. Where are you at? So yeah. Whoa, what's happening? Wait, I thought I wasn't supposed to go after the does. I thought the does were prohibited. Be stealthy. Be stealthy. Oh, is that one? Nope, that's a tree. Apparently there's a... Oh, crap. I'm getting too close. Oh, wait, there's one right behind me. Nope. Uh-oh. Oh, shit! I got attacked by a cougar! That gave me goosebumps. That guy came out of nowhere. Threw me. That's good. We got some chit chat going on online. It's one of the things that's one of the extra dynamics that I appreciate about this. I can sit here and live stream and either be productive or be completely unproductive, but either way, you can get comment dialogue going. I mean, it's a full thing. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Oh, hello, mutt. Oh, dude. What did I do to you? Bad dog. Oh, I see. Oh, well, I was trying to get away. The dog came up to me and was like, hey, and then it just jumped me. You ain't getting away from a dog. Stella, are you still down? I don't think Stella's still down here. I think she went upstairs. So So anyway, now I'm nowhere near where I want to be. So thank you, dog. Well, actually, first thank you, cougar, and then the dog. Wait, does that mean that whole mission, like I have to start from scratch? That is no fun. So yeah, pretty much what I was doing, I'm gonna have to restart again, and I'm gonna have to watch out for cougars. I didn't realize that was gonna be a thing, because while in a real world situation, that's a legitimate concern when you're out in the middle of nowhere. In the game, because we're helpless, or at least I'm helpless, I need someone to tell me, oh, hey, by the way, look out for the wild animals that are going to come and maul you. And by the time you hear them, they're going to be too close for you to protect yourself. That would have been a nice heads up. But I guess, we learn from our mistakes, and we process forth. I just hit something. Excuse me. Hold on. Hold the road. Hold the road. Yeah, in short, when I moved in with my friend Nick, one of our other roommates had, this game. Ooh, I missed my turn. He had this game, and I just played it obsessively. Pretty much if they were at work, I was playing the game, because obviously I don't want to hoard somebody else's Xbox. But then they moved after about, like, 3.5 months after I moved in, and that was when Kevin moved in, and I loved Kevin, but he did not have an Xbox One. So I went like forever without playing this game that I just really enjoy playing. Well, I like that it's more realistic. Well, obviously, things are going to become more realistic over time with just the technology. But as much as I love Vice City, I just like that there's a little bit more of a challenge. Like, it takes longer to get the cars going because you got to actually break the window out, and every door isn't unlocked anymore. So as much as I love Vice City, I mean, that's where I started. I just, I love those elements that make this, newer. So that being said, I am out in the wilderness. Where are you at? Interesting. Supposed to be hunting, which I don't. Oh shit. Oh, that wasn't a. I see him moving quick like that, and I keep thinking it's a friggin'. Oh shit. Where it at? Where it at? Where you at? Oh my god, there's animals everywhere. Okay, I'm bothered. Oh shit. Sorry, I'm going quiet because I'm actually focusing now, because I'm trying to keep from getting murdered, by one of them cougars coming out of nowhere. Not exactly a big fan of this part of the whole thing. Just having to do a dumb mission. Okay, is there something right next to me? Uh-huh. That's something. What is that? Well, it's running away from me, so it's obviously not a cougar. Wait, okay, so I mailed the thing. I don't know what I'm doing with my life anymore. That's funny. I actually have been eating considerably less junk food. I'm just now catching up with the comments. I'm always like, but anyway, yeah, I've actually been eating, and I'm a junk food, well, junkie, at least in the past. And oh, what's that? What's happening? What's happening? Hey, Peter, what's happening? And I've actually had barely any like candy or anything since the quarantine. It's not for lack of trying. It's more just I I haven't I haven't really been to the store much. Pretty much any store runs have been done for me. Um, so I admittedly haven't had the situation. Ah, he ran away. Well, you try and you fail. Yeah, I'm just trying to get to this dump. Oh shoot. Fuck. Oh god, I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I even saw him coming. No, I saw it happening. I saw the cougar coming. I shouldn't have been fooling around. In fact, I should stay near my vehicle. Well, it sucks because you get killed, so it's like you don't even get to like, these missions. You don't even get to respawn. Yes, the Anubis house. I've only seen that in person. Well, from outside the gate one time. And I learned about that from my girlfriend and their mom. They just, brought it up to me. Have you heard about this place? And they literally would just get in their vehicles and just kind of drive by it just for the fun of it. But I know my girlfriend's mom, whatever you believe or don't believe. Like when I started doing that video, again, I was just kind of just looking into whatever information you could find and whatever YouTube videos were out there. And I'm sorry, I keep losing my focus between these things. It's also getting kind of late in the day. I mean, it was late in the day when I started, but and as I was literally recording the clips, I was starting to become more convinced that there's probably not necessarily anything really weird going on here. And then by the time I was done, I reassessed that position. And while I'm thinking, I don't know exactly what is going on, there was just too many oddities for me to dismiss as this is something strange. And I know a lot of people have said they're just some people with a little extra money who have an interest in like Egyptian this and that. And again, I don't know. I don't know what the reality is, but by the time I was done with that video, I remained convinced that there's something strange going on. That was my perspective, my personal opinion by the time I got done. And I honestly haven't really looked into it since that. And that video I did, a year and a half ago? I want to say it was near the end of 2018. And I know that there was a report. I talk about it in my video that the property was up for sale. And I never really, somebody mentioned something about, a couple months after it was supposed to go on sale. And someone said, I don't remember the details, unfortunately, but someone said like, oh, well, it hasn't been sold to someone new yet. So what's going on? I'm like, I don't know. That was kind of a thing. Like, it's interesting because it's, it's only like 20 miles from me or something like that. But it was one of those things that kind of like, until something new comes along, it's kind of one of those things where I just kind of wanted to do my one video and then kind of move on. And because I only accompanied my girlfriend and her mom out there one time to literally just pull up to the end of the cul-de-sac there and look out the gate. Oh, it's one of you, bastard. Yeah, get out of here. there was already a cougar there waiting for me. Well, hopefully he's long. I'm going to give him a second. Oh, there he goes. He's running up the hill. Get out of here. Um, I'm sorry. I'm just, my mind's wandering. Thinking, trying to think about my life. And, oh, yeah, that's right. I can't do it right now. Well, that's adorable. Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna get back in the car and wait, because if I stand out here, I'm gonna end up getting eaten by another cougar. Um, mhm. Yeah, it was probably about 20, about 2015, 2016 when I first saw it, because it was me and my girlfriend got back together August 2015, and it was only a couple of months after we'd been back together that they first brought up that place to me. And one of the other times, because I know my girlfriend and especially her mom went enough times that after I'd been there once, someone suggested going up there, and my girlfriend's sister was like, "Oh my God, I don't want to go to that place again. It's stupid." Um, and my girlfriend's mom told me that, and there's at least a couple other people that have at least said similar things happened. Um, and I don't know the full story, so I'll probably botch it a little bit. But she said that one of the times that she drove up, I think it was when my girlfriend was with her, they pulled up to, the gates and, did their little look. And then as they drove off, they said that, like, I think two black cars, like BMW type cars, left the property and were like, it seemed to be following them. And I don't remember, there was something specific about the way the people inside looked. Like they had hoods on, or they looked like, the infamous Men in Black. I don't remember exactly, but it was one of those things where, and I know I've seen at least a couple other people say similar things happened of, going up to the gate and then suddenly, cars suddenly pulling out of the property and perceivably following you. And yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting vibe. I don't know. There's an interesting vibe going out there. And again, I don't know exactly what's going on, but looking into the family that had possession of it and all the strange background stuff there. The father running his sketchy business, the son that seemed to be horribly disrespected by the family. Again, I haven't looked into it since I did that video, so even a lot of the details in the video are kind of hazy to me even now. But yeah, all the well, particularly because I know some people were able to sneak in there and video some of the property, and in particular, there's the it looks like it's like a little like fountain thing. But when they looked down in it, it looked like there was like steps going down, but it was filled with water, so you couldn't like go down there. But it was almost like if you took all that water out, you could go downstairs into something. That really got my attention, was seeing that, because it was like, why is that just in this thing randomly on this property? Little things like that just really got my attention and made it so hard for me to consider that this is all just, maybe an interesting family that has an interest in Egyptian style sculptures, because they have like Egyptian statues around the property. And it's very, and again, there's details that I probably talk about in the video that I've even forgotten now. But it's definitely one of those interesting little things that's kind of near um, well, in the Portland area, so to speak. Yeah, the owner. Yeah, I think that was the well, I guess you could say the patriarch of the family. And I forget, but I want to say that they got busted. It was some financial thing. I don't know if it was like tax evasion or tax fraud, but it was something along those lines. There was something financially sketchy about the family. And then there was this thing that my girlfriend's mom, I think, initially uncovered, which was the family has a weird connection to Michael Allen Harrison, who's like a local musician, but he's like a prominent musician. He's not just a prominent local guy. He's actually like a really well known musician. And I forget the exact, and I think that's what I talk about like at the end of my video on Oculus, is this interesting connection they have to this prominent musician. And it's like, how did those two things come together? Like, I don't know. It's weird. It's very weird. And I'm obviously a fan of the weird. And that's kind of what I'm stumbling, because I'm going to do. I mean, again, I don't want to. Okay, I'm getting sick of waiting here for the light to show up. I'm sorry. God, every time I live stream, I get my allergies give me sometimes itchy eyes, sometimes a runny nose, but a very dry nose. Especially when you're quarantined inside and you're just sucking in all this dry in-home air. But I'm going to go back to Michael, even though I don't think there's anything for him to do. But yeah, two cases that I'm going to be doing probably pretty long videos on, because they may, probably not, but they may actually be connected to some degree. I'm going to do a video, and again, these are cases that I just found in the last week. There's stuff looming out there waiting to be found, and eventually, you find it or you don't. One thing I looked into that I took a lot of notes on, it's going to be a really detailed video, because there's what has already been said, analytically speaking, about the case, and then there's, whatever I want to add to it, and that is the case of, it's called the Finley Creek Jane Doe. And this was at least most of the skeletal remains of a woman who was 6 to 8 months pregnant. They actually found the babies, they noticed in her kind of, this area, they discovered all these tiny little bones, and it was obvious that she'd been, whoever this woman was, she was pregnant when she died. And her bones were found in the Finley Creek area, which is near Elgin, Oregon. It's just, the vast, out there in the vast, sometimes nothingness that is a lot of Eastern Oregon. And this was, I believe she was found in 1978. And they predict when they found her, she'd been dead for at least a year. And fortunately, it's one of these cases that literally just recently others started delving into more. And the case, like literally when I started going on to like web forums and stuff, there literally were things happening that had happened like within the last couple of weeks. And there's like some researchers and stuff that are kind of reviving the case and hoping to get things figured out about it, because it is to this day still a Jane Doe. Lots of people have been considered as a possible, possibly being the victim, and just lots of information. But one of the guys that's actually, involved in like looking into it now, got his hands on, most of the case files, of which there isn't very many. I mean, this was, a small case in Eastern Oregon that they had, the remains of someone and not really anything else. They don't know who the person is. They don't even know how she died. There was no, the bones were all in very good condition, which, if there was like a hole in the skull, you'd say, oh, this person died via shooting, and we know that. But they don't know who the woman is, so they obviously don't know who killed her, and they don't even know how she died. I mean, for all we know, she could have just been, maybe she was lost in the desert and she just, collapsed from the heat, died of starvation. I mean, that seems like a little bit of a stretch. She wasn't too far from town, but it's a slight possibility. And anyway, just a very interesting case. I don't want to get too into it because then I give away a whole bunch of stuff, but I'm going to go in depth on that. And as I was doing information on that, because again, they figured this was probably someone who died 1975, 1966, maybe 1977. And some people theorize that it may have been connected to someone who is described as the Lewis and Clark Valley serial killer. And this is something I'd never heard of either. And essentially, there were 5 people, 3 of whom we know died, and 2 of whom vanished and have never been seen since. And the theory is being pushed forward that these people all were all killed by the same person, even though it happened over a couple of years, and the victims kind of differ in how they are, but it is kind of a misnomer that serial killers and now serial killers often do have a type, but serial killers are also function very frequently out of victims of opportunity. And so, if you're like Ted Bundy, people always said Ted Bundy, he liked going after, young women who had brunette hair that was parted down the middle. That was what people would say about him. But not every victim he killed was brunette with their hair parted down the middle. Because some of those victims were just victims of opportunity that maybe didn't look, how he wanted, but they still, satisfied his, disgusting inner desires. And so, people are very quick to dismiss the idea that one serial killer may be responsible for killing certain people because there might be a slight age variance, or if it's a male killer killing women, the women might kind of differ in appearance, so they think like, oh well, and it can be deceptive. But anyway, it all started in I think 1979. There was a 12-year-old girl in the town, I think it's pronounced Assiton, and it's in Washington, right across the river, the Snake River from Lewiston, which is Idaho. The 12-year-old girl named Christina White, who went to the county fair with her friends. She started feeling not well, like she was maybe having heat stroke. And she went back to her friend's house and, called her mom and was going to meet her mom. Perceivably left her friend's house and never made it to her mom, and she's never been seen since. She's been missing since that day. I think in 1981 there was a woman who was traveling between, I believe, Moscow, Idaho, and Lewiston. It's about a 30 something mile jaunt in the middle of nowhere, really, between the towns. And she was bicycling between the two, and somewhere along the line, someone nabbed her, and they found her dismembered remains stuffed in a bunch of plastic bags floating in the river, kind of along the edge of Hermiston, kind of along the Idaho-Washington border. And then a little while on down the road, there were 2 women. They were stepsisters who both worked at the local civic theater, the Lewiston Civic Theater. They reportedly were going to go to Safeway and never made it and just vanished too. And their remains were found about a year later in a ravine kind of a ways east of Lewiston. And there was and they'd been part-time workers at this theater. And there was another guy who was also a person who worked there who went there kind of late in the evening that same day that they disappeared. And oh god, my nose is driving me crazy. And he also disappeared, and he's the second victim that's never been found. So two of the five people have never been found, but it's always been thought, at least by law enforcement, that these cases were all the work of one person. And there's obviously people who don't agree with that. There was obviously, different ways they were killed. The girl that was killed in 1981, I think her name was Kristen David. She was dismembered, and then these two stepsisters were later found, but they hadn't been dismembered, and obviously we don't know. Some people even theorize that the guy, his name was Stephen Pearsall, who also worked at the guy that disappeared, who worked at the theater. It's been theorized that he maybe was even guilty because obviously he disappeared at the same time these women did, and they'd all known each other and worked together at the theater. But there was another guy that also worked there who just happened to be at the house that Christina White was at when she was visiting her friend. So this guy that happened to work at this movie theater and knew these victims that had all disappeared, he also just happened to be at this house years earlier when this Christina White girl vanished. And that's all I really want to say on it because I want to do an in-depth video on that. But yeah, the whole Finley Creek Jane Doe led me to that just because someone suggested that whoever killed this Jane Doe might have been that same person. I mean, I really want to go into that because there's lots of reasons to suggest it was the same person, but there's also a lot of reasons to suggest it wasn't. So it is one of those things that is very kind of shrouded in mystery, and you really have to analyze it all the way through. And those are the two cases I found that I want to go the most in depth on at this point because I found a few other cases I want to talk about. Like there's another really interesting one about a young woman who vanished from Warrenton, Oregon. I think in the early 80s. Another one of these things. It was like a girl who went to the local convenience store and was going to go meet up with her aunt, who was a teacher at a school, and she never made it. There's a witness who says that they saw this interesting car roll into town that they'd never seen before, and that the girl that disappeared said that this guy driving it was her boyfriend, but she was only like 16, and he looked like he was in his early 20s, and nobody knows who that guy was. So that's another very, very interesting case that I want to delve more. And again, really tragic because there are these cases that are, mostly from the 70s and 80s. So there are cases that have loomed unsolved for 40 plus years in a lot of cases. But those are the ones that I'm really interested in looking into now. And there's plenty of YouTubers and plenty, whoever's that are delving into cases of people that have vanished more recently. Oh my God, this Martin guy keeps calling me. Yeah, there's no point. Going back to Franklin. These guys are not getting it done for me. Oh yeah, Ghosts of Highway 20. Yeah, I started doing a vlog video on that a while back and never got it finished. But I didn't even know until a couple months ago that that documentary was even up. And when I found that, I was obviously immediately pulled in. But I discovered it through the articles that were written on it, which of course, the documentary they made is based entirely on that. But yeah, that's wild. And I think even that's actually perfect timing to mention that because the guy that's about was a guy. Was it John Aykroyd? I know his last name was Aykroyd. It was John Aykroyd, I think was the guy's name, and he was this guy that worked along um, he had a job where he drove up and down Highway 20, and he was like a maintenance guy. So he knew that area super well. And I mean, we know he's responsible for at least some killings, but then there's some like where it's like we don't know for certain, but it's like what are the odds? Like his stepdaughter, who was only, I believe she was his stepdaughter, who was only like 12, 13 when she vanished. And, it just happened to be this guy that was killing women. All of a sudden, his, young stepdaughter suddenly vanishes too and is never, never seen alive again. And it's like, oh, wow, isn't that a coincidence? But it's interesting bringing that case up because obviously it's unlikely because of the location difference. But the case I was just mentioning from the girl that disappeared from Warrenton, because a lot of there's cases of women who went to the beach and then were never found again that people theorized John Aykroyd was responsible for those murders. And with this girl living in Warrenton, which Warrenton's right across the Pacific Coast Highway from Astoria, so it's right on the coast, some people actually theorized that it might have been John Aykroyd. But John Aykroyd, again, he operated along Highway 20, so he was more. If he did go to the coast, it was more the central Oregon coast. It was around Newport and places like that. And so, not that means it absolutely couldn't have been him, but it didn't really match with where he was, based on what we know about him, where he was known to operate. So it's pretty unlikely that he was responsible, but it was still brought up as a possibility. I think just about anybody who went missing or turned up dead without a solution along the Oregon coast anytime during like the 80s or early 90s, people were probably going to say, hey, maybe it's this guy. And, that's understandable, because when you bust somebody who's killed a lot of people, one of the big questions is how many people have they killed altogether? How many victims do they have that we don't know about? And then you've got your Edward Edwards type people who, if you don't know, Edward, I think Wayne was his middle name. Anyway, Edward Edwards is this guy that some have theorized has been responsible for every like major headline grabbing murder case that's happened. Pretty much. He died a few years ago, but suggested that he's responsible for like all of these infamous crimes, that he did all of them. Because he had an objective of causing murders that were guaranteed to get headlines. And it's just ridiculous. He's said to be responsible for everything from the Black Dahlia murder, which he was 13 at the time the Black Dahlia murders happened. So pretty efficient killer for a 13-year-old. And there's not even any evidence he lived in the LA area at the time. But yeah, every case from the Black Dahlia up to Teresa Halbach, the murder case that's the focus of Making a Murderer. There's people that claim in one of the episodes you see Edward Edwards in the background. And, maybe it's him, but it also could just be an old guy that kind of looked like him. But yeah, they've said he's responsible for that. He was the Zodiac killer. He's the guy that killed Marilyn Shepard. He killed Martha Moxley, like pretty much anything aside from like the major assassinations, JFK, RFK, Malcolm X, MLK, they say this guy is responsible for. And I did, my really long video I did, Murder in Forest Park, about the 1960 murder of Larry Payton and Beverly Allen, which, by the way, is still, if I have to, state my personal preference, that's probably my favorite YouTube video I've posted. I mean, I've actually sat down and watched it once or twice, which makes me sound really conceited, but like we're all kind of judgmental of what we produce. And when I can sit down and watch something I made and say, hey, that was actually really good and really entertaining, then that's the difference between that and other things. And that's probably my favorite video that I've made, aside from the woman in the river, because I don't really count that, because that was like an actual documentary I did where I went out and interviewed people and pulled out the big guns and all that. But anyway, some people think that Edward Edwards was responsible for Larry Payton and Beverly Allen's murder, and Edward Edwards was briefly living in Portland when those murders happened, and he visited the murder site. So obviously with this guy, and he is known to have killed a couple people. It's not like there's no proof he actually killed anyone. He definitively killed at least like 4 or 5 people that we know of for certain. But he, yeah, so he did live in the Portland area, and he did visit the crime scene, which is usually very suspicious. But I still, honestly, my personal perspective, because I have my theory on it, and no, I just drove right into a semi truck. Oh man, that guy's pissed. Man, he got out of his truck. Maybe I shouldn't be driving in the wrong lane, oncoming lane of traffic. But yeah, so I don't think Edward Edwards was responsible. But there is reason to think he might have been, just the fact that he was in the area. Now, he wrote a book called The Metamorphosis of a Criminal, where he claimed that he was like reformed and stuff. But just making sure I can get in here. I can get in here? Oh, hi. Oh, wait, there's something new for me to do. Okay, good. I've been kind of stagnant in this game, trying to figure out where they want me to go. But yeah, I'm more feel there was a guy that lived right next to the location that Beverly Allen and Larry Payton were at, that claimed he was out of town. He was like a trucker and he was out of town and he wasn't there when it happened. And he had proof of this because he had like a receipt that showed that he had been somewhere in Eastern Oregon. And I'm like, do you have any idea how easy it is to fake a receipt? Especially, these were receipts from 1960. I mean, the receipts he presented were literally written in pencil, like could have so easily been faked. And this guy that lived right there had a history of violence, and he'd been busted on gun charges. Like, he was known to have weaponry and to be in a kind of angry confrontational thing. And the idea is that Larry, that the area that they went to was an area that people often used as a lover's lane, but at the same time, it was a lover's lane that was kind of against the wants of the people that lived in the area. They didn't want all these kids coming up and parking their cars near their house and doing what young people did. So it was known that locals were very hostile towards these people, and that's exactly what Larry Payton and Beverly Allen were doing. Supposedly, was they were going there to have a private, date night together. So yeah, so there was that. Ooh, yeah. Ward Weaver. I just saw serial killer in Oregon, and immediately Ward Weaver. That really messed me up. The 2 girls that died, Ashley Pond and Miranda Gaddis, were only a couple years younger than me, and I lived in Milwaukee. I lived about 8 miles from north of Ward Weaver, and there was a guy I went to high school with who I think was Miranda Gaddis's cousin. Me and Miranda Gaddis share a birthday. She was born on my birthday 3 years after me. Yeah, I still get messed up when I think about that. And I remember I literally sat, because there was nonstop news coverage for about 3 days, and this Ward Weaver guy, he was a creeper. And yeah, no, his dad was, I think his dad served in Nam. It may have been in Korea, and he claimed later on that he had voices in his head that commanded him what to do. And it's really a wild story how he got caught, because he actually picked up some hitchhikers who were, I think, traveling to Vegas. and brutally murdered the guy and did other things to the girlfriend before killing her. But he was with a friend, and they picked up two more young people, so to speak. And essentially, he took the woman. Now, this is Ward Weaver's father I'm talking about, who was this maniacal trucker guy. And he took the girlfriend to, do what he wanted with, and he sent the boyfriend off with his friend, and his friend shot the boyfriend in the head 3 times. This is as I remember the story being. Shot him in the head 3 times and threw him down a hill. And the boyfriend managed to survive and pull himself up out of the ditch. And he was able to get to authorities and tell them what had happened. This guy took me and shot me, and he abducted my girlfriend, and he was able to describe who Ward Weaver looked like, or Ward Weaver Sr. And that was how he got busted. And the other couple that he'd killed earlier, that woman was buried under a concrete slab in his backyard. And then his son did the same thing with Ashley Pond. He buried her under concrete in his backyard. And they found Miranda Gaddis. She'd been stuffed in, I think, a microwave box that had been left in the shed in the back. So her remains were recovered really easily, because it didn't even seem like he really made a concerted effort to try to hide them. And yeah, his son, as far as I knew, because his son killed somebody. And the way because it was obvious that Ward Weaver had some kind of insatiable thing in him. And here he was. He had a 12-year-old girl, Ashley Pond, living with him. And by all accounts of people who were there, like, he had Ashley sleep in the bed with him. This is a guy who was almost 40 years old. It was so weird that Ward Weaver had a girlfriend who left him, and one of the main reasons was she was actually jealous of the attention he gave Ashley, who was this, little girl. So just really, really disgusting. And the way that Ward Weaver got caught was he'd gotten, I think his license was suspended or expired. And so he had to get a ride from his son's girlfriend. And they went to his place. They went back to his house because I forget, he had to pick up something, or maybe he had some excuse he gave her. And when they went into the house, he tried to attack her. And, he ripped all her clothes off, and she managed to get away from him. And she literally ran out of the house, grabbed a tarp and wrapped it around her body, because she was, naked at that point. And sorry, I'm gaming while I'm talking, but so yeah, she ran out into the streets, and she managed to wave down a guy that picked her up, and they contacted the police, and Ward Weaver got into his car and took off, but the police caught up to him pretty quick, and he was apprehended. And as I understand it, he also got evicted from his home, and because he got evicted from his home, he no longer had control over it. And because of that police were able to finally go in and actually, start searching the property without having to worry about any restrictions Ward Weaver would try to put on it. And yeah, I remember the feeling in my gut. They announced they'd found some human remains there. So objectively, you're like, oh God, great. But even then, it wasn't until the next day that they were identified as Miranda Gaddis's her remains. And I remember just when the personnel came out and said, these remains have been officially identified as being Miranda Gaddis's. And you hear this, of course, this just people start breaking down crying. And I remember just sitting there and just literally, and I'm never speechless. There's been maybe 4 or 5 times in my life that I've ever felt speechless. Like I literally don't know what to say. And that was one of them. I just sat there and didn't know what to do, what to think. And again, I was only like 15 years old when this happened. So I was still so close to you. The fact that, I was close in age to these girls, I went to school with people who were relatives of one of the girls. They went to Gardner Middle School, which I used to play youth league basketball games at Gardner Middle School. Like, you really kind of felt like a member of your family died, even being me and like having never met or heard of these girls up to the point of their disappearance. Like, yeah, that one's always stuck with me. Oh God. And one of the, I never wish death on anyone, but I know a couple years after, because I think Ward, I don't know if he still is, but he's like in prison in Eastern Oregon for this. I think they tried really hard to get the whole insanity defense thing to work, and when it was obvious that wasn't going to happen, he finally was just like, all right, and he either pled guilty or pled no contest. But a couple years after he ended up, because, prisoners, they don't like fellow inmates that do bad stuff to children. And apparently when he was getting a shave or a haircut, one or the other, the inmate that was doing it tried to like cut him, like tried to kill him while he was there, and he managed to get away and survive. And a small part of me is like, I never wish death on anybody. I'm totally anti-death penalty, but at the same time, I'm like, I probably wouldn't have felt bad if the guy actually successfully managed to kill Ward Weaver. I mean, we're talking scum of the earth. And it's the location where his house was. Yeah, I was just about to say, they bulldozed his house not long afterwards. And my thing came unplugged. My Mac's about to die. Hold on. Wow, how did I unplug it that much? Oh, probably because I'm moving the Mac around a bunch. Go figure. But yeah, the house got bulldozed not long after. And I actually walked on there because that property, as far as I know, has been sitting there for sale since that happened. Like nobody wants to touch that property. Now maybe someone has bought it, but it's been sitting there completely undeveloped. Like you walk by it now, and obviously it's been almost 20 years. God. So you walk by it, and you would never know a house was ever there because obviously somebody owns it, but there's been like for sale signs there forever. So obviously it's being maintained by someone, but nobody with the objective of really seemingly developing it has done anything with that land. And I mean, can you blame them? I mean, talk about I would never want that property. And I'm one of those people that, like, if somebody told me, like, I was about to buy a house and someone told me there was an infamous murder that happened here, I mean, unless there was severe poltergeist stuff going on, I'd be like, whoa, that's scary, but that's also kind of, I'm kind of, that doesn't gross me out or scare me like it might other people, but even that. And yeah, and I just remember this weird sensation as I went, because right next to where the house was, there's the little back road that kind of, it goes down and wraps and then turns again, and it goes into the apartment complex where Ashley and Miranda lives. Because I always wondered how did this guy grab these girls so easily? And it's like, well, it's a kind of downhill back street that leads up to the main street from the apartment complex, and you have to walk up and past Ward Weaver's house just to get to the main street where like their bus stop would be, because that's what seemed to happen in both cases with each girl. Was the idea was they left for school and then never made it to their bus. And I remember walking down that stretch to the apartment, and of course, it's not called Newell Creek. They changed the name of the apartments not long after this because Newell Creek Apartments was, you know, it was always going to be identified, connected with this murder case. And of course, the people that own and maintain the apartment, they don't want their apartment's main selling point to be, oh yeah, we're the apartment that those two girls lived in who got killed. So yeah, I remember they changed the name of the apartment complex not long after that. Understandably so. But yeah, just walking down there and realizing how actually easy it would have been, especially if Ward Weaver maybe approached them, because as far as I know, we still don't really know exactly what he did, how he pulled this all off. We know that he had this twisted, disgusting relationship with Ashley Pond, who was just a kid at the time, and she probably I think she kind of didn't really feel like I know the guy that she grew up with and looked up to as a father, they found out that he wasn't actually her father. And so he ended up, I think, leaving after that. And so she did kind of lack a father figure in her life. And maybe she saw that in Ward, or she didn't really. I don't know. I don't even want to really delve into it. It's so just troubling. Just the disgusting, pathetic means behind, Ward Weaver's motivations and how he thought this stuff was all right because, well, I mean, look who we're talking about. But because people wonder, like, because he didn't really have much of a connection with Miranda other than the fact that his daughter was like good friends with her. So people theorize like, well, why did Miranda Gaddis also get killed? And some have said that she may have seen him. Because again, anybody who lives in that apartment complex has to come. They don't just pass his house, but like, here's his house, here's his backyard. The street comes up like this and wraps around. So as you come up that street from the apartment complex, you would walk right past his backyard. You'd have almost a view into there. And so some theorize that Miranda maybe saw him saw him moving Ashley, or she saw something that she wasn't supposed to see. Now, that's a theory that some people have. I don't know if there's any definitive evidence to prove that, but I did read. So Ashley vanished, I believe, January 9th, 2002. And Ward Weaver's daughter had a birthday right in between when she vanished and then when Miranda vanished. And I believe that she vanished March 8th. It was almost exactly 2 months apart. And there was a report that, Miranda Gaddis was at Ward Weaver's daughter's birthday. And Miranda Gaddis was, because it was going to be like a sleepover, a bunch of like Ward Weaver's daughter's friends were going to spend the night. And apparently Miranda Gaddis was telling a bunch of the girls there, whether she knew this or she was just being, kind of a pain in the ass teenager. She said that, oh, well, Ward Weaver probably is probably killed Ashley. And, he was this weirdo that had her sleep in his bed. And he'll probably, none of you girls should spend the night because he'll probably try doing something weird to you too. And apparently this pissed, Ward Weaver's daughter off, and she went and told him that Miranda Gaddis was saying this about him to these other girls there. And then lo and behold, about 2 weeks later, Miranda Gaddis disappears. So there's that angle too. But we don't really know for certain exactly. We can think of a bunch of reasons why he would abduct Ashley and do what he did. But Miranda, it's a little bit more, a little bit more kind of have to hypothesize, what may or may not have happened. But yeah, that one has definitely stuck with me, over the course of time. I think more than other cases. That, and of course, Kyron Horman, that one. Like a year ago, I started talking about how I was going to do a really in-depth documentary on Kyron Horman, and I still want to. But if I do ultimately do it, I'm going to make it a unlisted video so that you have to actually like come and get my okay to get the link to it. And the reason for that is it's still a very fresh case. It's something, and I actually had, when I first said I was going to do this, I had people contact me and say, hey, you know, there's a lot of people that get really weird and aggressive about this case and like just know what you're getting into. And it was like, I just want to do a YouTube video looking into it, all the things that I've personally noticed. So I want to, I still want to do it because it's important and we still don't know what happened. And I want it to be just, you know, it's just, you know, looking into the case. It's not professing any wild conspiracy theories or anything. It's just looking into what happened. But in that vein, I don't want people coming on there and starting a bunch of shit with me because they don't agree with my opinion. And I, more than anything else, I don't want people like reporting on my channel because YouTube does not do a good job protecting the rights of its creators. People have had their channels closed or deleted due to baseless, groundless claims that other people have made who just had, you know, a bone to pick with them. You know, people will like report your content, and without it even being verified that you did anything wrong, they'll just delete your videos. And if you get, you know, enough strikes or whatever against you or enough complaints, they'll delete your channel without even like giving it its due diligence and looking into it. I've seen that happen to people, and I don't want that to happen to my channel. I've put too damn much work into it, and yeah, I have all the videos backed up and I could easily repost them, but I'm going to lose all my subscribers. I'm going to lose a lot of stuff that, you know, I'm not necessarily going to get back quick. Like, yeah, I can recreate my channel, but, you know, a lot of people on my, and, you know, it sucks because people can come on and all of a sudden it's like, oh, you know, this channel's been deleted. And then people are like, what happened? What? You know, and some people might think I just got pissed about something. And it's like, no, my channel got screwed. So it's one of those things that it's a very touchy situation for people, but I still feel, you know, especially since there's been so, you know, we've gained so little perspective on it over time that, you know, you need people independently looking into it. And I would, especially in a case that sensitive, I would never say anything about that case as fact unless it was verified as such. If someone says they saw this, saw that, whatever, I'll say like, oh, this person claims this happened. Now, obviously, that's just their statement. Are they telling the truth? I don't know. But so-and-so says this happened. So-and-so said that happened. This is what we have as evidence. I'm starting to cough. You know, it's just, it's not something to mess with and joke about. And I remember I got so pissed because one particular comment, which I deleted, when I said, you know, I'm going to do this, you know, I don't know when I'm going to get it done. There's a lot of research to do. I literally want to find every single detail I can about this before I even touch producing it. And I posted just a little video saying, hey, I want to do you know, at least a series or something on this based on what I see, and, you know, hopefully give us, you know, some extra guidance and, you know, maybe figuring out what happened. I don't know. Maybe I have something to offer on this case. You know, maybe not. Maybe I do. And someone came on and pretty much said, like, like, shut up. We all know you're only doing this for the views. Don't act like you actually care. This is a person who wasn't a subscriber. This is a person I'd never seen comment on a video I'd done before. This was somebody who did not know me from a hole in the wall, coming onto my channel and saying, well, we all know you're just doing it for the views. Once again, as I've said numerous times over, I have been consistently posting content for the last almost 3 years. I have over 500 videos on my channel. We're talking thousands upon thousands of hours of work, time that I could have spent doing other things. And I am currently, as of this recording, at 1,163 subscribers. And my average video, at least in the first rush, gets 40 to 60 views in the first like 48 hours. And that's been fairly consistent over time. So no, I'm not just doing it for the views or the prestige. I'm doing it because someone's got to do it, and I'm actually interested in investigating this kind of stuff, so I might as well stick my head in there and do that. But that's another case that's really stuck with me and just really bothered me, and it's frustrating because and I've done a lot of the research. I can go get you the massive pile. In fact, you know what? Put my money where my mouth is. Just a moment. A lot of news. All right. Yep. Okay. Just to show you this ain't some real thing. And I'm one of these people. I always, when I'm going through sources, I always note everything of interest that I might want to discuss. I always note it by hand. You know, I'm a writer like that. I write everything out. Writing is therapeutic for me, even if it's just note taking. You know, I'm such a weirdo. Remember when you were in school and they were like, "All right, take notes," and you're like, "God damn it, here we go." Okay. And here I am. I do it for fun, for research. But anyway, this right here, I know it's dark so you can't see it that well, but this is literally all research. I started making a list of bullet points towards like why I think the stepmom might be guilty. But literally, like, this is all research. And I have a notebook that literally it says Kyron Horman. Again, I don't know how well that's showing up, but yeah, Kyron Horman film notes, like notes for the film I'm going to do. So this, there's some other stuff that I wrote in the last section here, but yeah, so pretty much, yeah, so ending like right here. So this is all, this portion of the notebook, all of these pages, that is all just more research into the Kyron Horman thing. Every little thing that anybody has written and suggested or you know, whatever. Any eyewitness account, whether it's real or whether there's nothing to back it up, I want everything that I can literally find. There's literally, and because it's such a big case, I mean, there's thousands upon thousands upon thousands of, you know, like web sleuth posts and all these, you know, forums where people talk about it. And I've literally gone through almost all of them doing research. So this ain't a joke. This is a real thing. And I didn't do all that research to just be like, I'm not really going to do anything now. So I'm going to do something on this case, but if it does get posted on my channel, it's probably going to be an unlisted video. That way only certain people can get to it. Oh man, I am blowing through, I was blowing through downtown. So yeah, so that's another one that, and I actually, one of my most viewed videos is a video that's just called Kyron Horman, and it was while I was in Forest Park doing something else. And I've always had a feeling that Kyron Horman's remains are somewhere in Forest Park. I don't have any evidence to back that up. I don't, again, this is my gut feeling. When I go towards, there's a certain part of Forest Park that when I get there, I immediately start thinking about Kyron Horman. And I know I brought that up, and someone was like, there's no way they would put him in Forest Park. There's too many people in Forest Park all the time. I mean, not right now, obviously, but there's too many people that go there. Someone who would have seen him. And I'm like, you obviously have never traversed Forest Park. Forest Park is 8 square miles. And yes, there's a lot of trails and a lot of people have gone there, but it's real easy. A lot of the trails are lined with little hills that if you go up over them, no one's going to see you. And there's lots of little like dead end roads that just kind of go a little ways into there, and then you're just kind of in the park that somebody could have easily pulled into. And there's massive ravines there. You could literally throw anything down there, and while animals might find them, people aren't going to, because they're areas that people can't even get access to. And when people say like, "Oh no, nobody could pull something off like that," Forest Park is there's too many people there. Well, they did. There was a like a feature film done about it, about I think it was like a father and daughter who literally lived in their own like makeshift shelter, and they lived in Forest Park for a couple of years. They managed to do that without being seen. So you're telling me someone couldn't quickly sneak in there and get rid of a body? Again, so much of Forest Park is is pretty much, unless you literally show up with the objective of diving into ravines and praying to God you get out of there somehow, a lot of areas you can't even access to because they're so steep. And Lord only knows what could be there. So that's just how I feel. I've always had a vibe that, and it's, if you look at the stepmom, if you look at her as the guilty party, she was driving up and down like Skyview and all these roads that go up along the western backside of Forest Park, and she claims that she was driving back and forth up there because her baby wasn't feeling well, and driving around in cars, she said, helped soothe her baby when she wasn't feeling well. And maybe that's the truth. Again, whatever my suspicions are, there's certain things that and there's certain things you just don't know because you're relying on what people say. What is that? Oh, we got another cat. Another cat sighting. That is Pepper. Well, that's her nickname. Pepper. And yep, she knows we're talking about her. She, yeah. You have to think ahead if you're gonna go be affectionate with her, because she has massive paws and she will rip flesh out of you. Well, she's her breed. My girlfriend was talking about this. I forget the breed. They're called like tortoise shells. Or at least that's the name my girlfriend told me. And yeah, they're almost exclusively female. I guess the breed it's like 90-something% female, and they're always known for being, well, let's just say you don't want to mess with them. They will cut you up. And yes, I will obviously make some method available to people to see my big Kyron Horman thing when it gets done, which it's still a ways off from happening, especially now, because I want to actually go. I want to go to all these locations where things supposedly happen, and right now I'm obviously not going to do that. And there a lot of, like, the school that Kyron Horman went to, there are places that are not impossible, but pretty rough to get to if you don't have a car. The closest bus to his school is like, you either have to get off like 5 miles south and hoof it all the way up there, or you can get off a bus like way on the other side of Forest Park and have to climb way up in there and then get way past that. And it just, that's how my channel is. I want to go to locations where things happen. So when that video ever does happen, I will obviously because obviously, I know most of the people on my channel watch my stuff because they like my stuff. Why would they be subscribed otherwise? So it's not that I don't trust any of you guys. I'm sure whether you agree or disagree with my conclusions or how I do it, you'll appreciate where I'm coming from. It's those that might not and might try to start creating problems for me and my channel that I'm not going to tolerate. So yeah, I'll definitely figure out some method to make the link available to people so you can go see it, but just not any random person will be able to do it. But again, we're talking about something that's I still want to do more research. It's going to be probably months before I can even go shoot raw video at certain locations. It's probably won't be till next year that this even gets done. But I really, really want to do it because it's something that's a lot of the reasons you delve deep into stuff is because of how they affect you or some way that you feel connected to it. Like the reason I made a big documentary thing out of my Woman in the River, like I already knew I was going to do a big video on it, but it was just going to be another big YouTube video. But I decided to make it more of like a documentary, a little bit more higher end, when I found out that the first body parts of that victim were found literally off the shore in the town, the little tiny town that I did most of my growing up in, which is Oak Grove, which is a small, unincorporated community between Milwaukee, which borders, again, if you're not from the Portland area, Portland, big old Portland, then there's little Milwaukee here, and then Oak Grove is kind of this area that is inappropriate looking. Milwaukee, Oak Grove, and then kind of Gladstone and Oregon City down here. And so Oak Grove is not even regarded as actually a town. It's one of those unincorporated. So like if a crime happens, the county police show up as opposed to like, a city police. And what was I even saying? Yeah, and so it's very small, and I moved when I was living at my church. We were technically in Jennings Lodge, but Jennings Lodge is just kind of another part. It's just kind of the southern part of Oak Grove, really, when you get down to it. So I kind of regard myself as having lived in the Oak Grove area for about 25 years of my life, so most of it. And in that small area, in the Willamette River, that's where technically in Oak Grove is where they found the first remains of that victim. So the moment that I had that direct connection, I knew it was going to be more than just, a little YouTube video. And I got really into it. And that's how that happened. And here I am. Ooh, I see Vinewood in the distance. Oh God, I had the greatest moment in this game the other night. I had to pull out my iPhone and record it. I keep forgetting that the Vinewood sign is in this game, which is of course parodying the Hollywood sign. And I finally found the dirt road that took me up there. And I pull up and I stop my car and it's nighttime and I can go look. I'm looking down from next to the sign. I can see the lights of the city. And friggin' Night Moves started playing. The Bob Seger song started playing on the radio in the car. And I was like, oh my God, I am so at peace right now. In a game where mostly you're running around shooting people and stealing cars and doing what you do. And yeah, that's life. I'm changing my characters again. I'm not getting anywhere with these people. Wait a minute. I see a question mark. And where there's a question mark, there's, a question usually. Question like, what is going to happen when I get to this spot? Let's find out. Oh, it's not too far away. Let's find out together, everybody. Holy crap. Okay, slow down. I need a drink. This kind of a drink. Ooh. Mm. Well, thank you for thanking me for doing what I do. I really do appreciate it. I mean, the main reason, obviously, that I do, um, content. I mean, I do this type of content because I've always been interested in it. I'm a Scorpio, so they always say Scorpios are really interested in like true crime and all that stuff, and I'm a pretty solid representation of that. And so yeah, I love just reading up on and learning about this stuff. But beyond that, however many or few video or views I get on my channel, you know, a lot of the stuff, whatever it is, a lot of the stuff I do because I want to give people, something interesting that they can enjoy. The style that I do my channel, I do because I like other channels that have, I've been in the way that I do videos is a lot of times inspired by how other people do their channels. And so, well, and on that note, I am completely confused now. I'm also trying to figure out how to get to this certain spot. So there's extra things happening right now. But yeah, I want to produce stuff that is significant, will interest people, but also stuff that people can actually enjoy watching, while also, hopefully gaining something out of it. If there's cases I've done that you don't know about, here I am to provide info on it, and that may get you interested. You may do more info, and you may even find things that I didn't find and come back and be, hey, Steve, did you also notice this? And I was like, oh, no, I didn't notice that. So yeah, I really appreciate it. Oh, good night. Thanks for sticking around now that I'm at over 2 hours of doing this. Oh wait, is this the street race? Oh god, I don't want to do this dumb street race thing. The street race is impossible because you don't even know where to go. But I guess one of the things I love being a guy who's not a gamer, but games sometimes, is if you screw up a mission enough times, you can skip it, which is good for people that like want to play but aren't like the greatest in the world of gaming and can't just blow through everything because of this and that. Oh god, I'm going the wrong way. By the way, I appreciate that a lot of you are. Where am I? Oh, I see what's happening. I appreciate that a lot of you are. First of all, this is another reason I need to shave. I think a lot of the reason I'm getting itchy around my nose is my quarantine beard. My no shave quarantine beard that is going to go soon. I'm fed up with this thing. And also, as the weather gets warmer, yeah. No, I don't want to do this dumb race, but you know what? I'm going to do the dumb race, and I'm going to lose horribly. Yeah, you have to do this street race. It's nighttime. You can't even tell where you're going. And you apparently have to. Oh, dang it. So, yeah, somebody already spun me out. That's what always happens. Come on. Where are we? Oh, yeah. I'm not going the right way. Oh, no, I am going the right way. I'm just way behind. Jesus. This music sucks. No, I'm kidding. This music's all right. Oh, yeah. See right there. I don't know where I'm going. They're going to be like, oh, you left the race. I didn't leave the race. I just don't know where I'm going. Oh, man. I just wish I could, like, blow these other cars up. Maybe I just need... Oh, get out of my... Whoa, and then I hit a pole. Yeah, I am definitely going to lose this race. That's the thing, is they lead you through such a tight area, and of course, none of them ever get into an accident. Oh, no. It's like, man, you gotta give me some. And look, I don't even know where I'm supposed to go here. Nope, I ran right into a rock. Come on, just have them end the race. End my misery. This is terrible. I hate you. And yeah, again, I appreciate you guys, even not even necessarily asking questions, but like throwing like just things out there, like, oh, you know, this case and that case. I found myself discussing things I didn't even know I was going to discuss tonight, and that's fun. Even if it's stuff that I've done videos on, you know, not everybody's going to see every video I did, and so it's, you know, it's oh god, right when I was gaining ground. So, you know, there might be something that I'm like, oh, everybody already knows this, but it's a video I did a year ago. And it's like, no, not everybody knows about it because not everybody's seen that video. So I don't mind crossing familiar ground over again. Oh, God, now I have an itch on the bridge of my nose, which you need both hands available to, ooh, a PS1. That's my kind of stuff. Like literally, I just got my Xbox One, about a week ago. I just got it because I actually could get it now. It was the one little splurge thing I did while in quarantine. But you know, first console I ever had was, you know, the original Nintendo, and I have my Sega Genesis that I actually use. It's hooked up in my bedroom. I bought it for like $15 at a CD game exchange, and I got games for it for like, you know, $2 a game. So I have a couple games. You know, I played a little Sonic, a little NBA Jam here and there, and yeah, and I think it's a second generation. It's not a first generation, but it's still, you know, it's like 26 some years old, and it, you know, it's still kicking. Oh, really? I lost the race. That's awesome. I know, and I'm so pissed. My because like I still get, you know, pissed when I'm sucking at gaming, and I'm like, no, are you kidding me? You know, that kind of stuff that, you know, we all do from time to time. Or I don't know if I should be saying all of us do. Maybe I'm alone in that, but in particular when I was a kid, I couldn't deal with anything. If things didn't go the way I mean, maybe it's part of that only child syndrome. Um, I was a very spoiled kid, but you know, like when I started watching basketball and started watching the Blazers, I would just go into tirades every time we lost, which is kind of rough because the Blazers weren't that good when I first started watching basketball. But yeah, I would just get just enraged. And um and yeah, my very first Nintendo, I think I got it when I was like excuse me, 7. Um so yeah, my friend Guy had one, but I of course never got. I mean, I was too young at that time. They'll probably be like, "Why are we gonna let you play, Steve? You don't even know how to do this." But every time I would lose a game, I would punch the top of my Nintendo. You know, just the top of it. I would just punch it, and because of that, I eventually developed a big crack down the middle of it, and it kind of started petering out over time, probably in part because of my abuse. And of course, I'm in the race and then I get stuck and I crash in. And now I can't move. Unbelievable. I was actually in the race for a second there. Now I'm way behind again. And my dad actually bought me another one that he found on the cheap. And when I left home, I was in such a rush. I left so much good stuff behind. And I left that original Nintendo behind that was still in really good working condition. And I really wish I would have taken it with me. You know, in part, you know, for the excitement of still having it, being able to use it from time to time. This guy just screwed me. Good. Well, at least I'm going to beat you. I'm not going to beat everybody, but at least I'm going to beat you. I'm not going the right way. This is a train wreck. I literally well, of course, I'm not really paying attention to the race anymore anyway. Just have it end so I don't have to do this dumb race anymore. But yeah, so I had the classics, and I also my uncle gave me for my birthday an Xbox, like 2004 thereabouts, and I use the heck out in like spurts. I didn't just use it all the time, but I would use it in spurts very frequently. And right when I moved away from the church around 2017, the thing just died on me. It just you'd hit the power button, it would be like, and it might have been something that could be fixed, but I'd given it so much use over like, a 13, 14 year period. It likely wasn't gonna last much longer. Can I skip the mission now? Oh crap, I probably have to do this race one more time so I can skip it. But yeah. So I had the Xbox, I play it from time, but it definitely I got my use out of it. But yeah, I remember the sadness of I lived with my again, I was roommates with my friend Nick for about 15 months, and um, right after I moved in, um, my Xbox died. So I still had it. It just kind of sat there. But when I went to move in with my girlfriend, I was like, I finally just said the hell with it. I needed to clear the clutter because I wasn't going to have as much space as I used to have. And so I took it out to the dumpster and threw it away. And again, you might have been able to fix it, but it was just dead. I don't think it was going to probably cost a lot of money to fix, and it just really, in the end, it just wasn't worth it. When all is said and done, it just wasn't worth it. Um, and that be the consoles that I've had. I'm so far behind. It's probably going to say I abandoned the race pretty soon. Yep. Oh, I missed a checkpoint. Screw you, checkpoint. So I pretty much haven't really had a console. Like, my girlfriend, yes, I can skip the mission. My girlfriend's dad has an original Xbox, so sometimes I get to go back on there and relive the glory days of GTA Vice City and GTA 3. GTA 3 was okay. GTA 3 was like, oh man, you hear that? Built this city. By the way, we built this city by Starship, widely regarded by many as one of the worst rock songs ever made. We Built This City was the #1 song in America the day I was born. I found that out. I went on an app that said, tell us when you were born and we'll tell you what song was #1 when you were born. So I am more than happy with having We Built This City as my birth song, #1. Don't you remember, built this city? Yes, blowing on the Nintendo consoles. I've done that a time or two with my Sega consoles, but I remember, especially the first Nintendo I ever got did have some wear on it, and so it would get fickle at times, and I'd get pissed like, oh my god, come on, and sometimes it just wouldn't cooperate. In fact, I remember I used to record a lot of audio tape recordings with my friend Jason. And one day, because I was getting really into sports, I had a baseball Stars 2, for the Nintendo, and I started recording on my Talkboy. I had a Talkboy, which for those of you who don't know, where have you been? Talkboys became a big thing for like a year. A Talkboy is the thing in Home Alone 2 Lost in New York, the audio tape recorder thing that Macaulay Culkin has, the little silver thing that had to like pull out microphone, and you could change and you actually could do that with it. You could change you can make your voice record at a slower speed so you sounded older. And yeah, I actually got one of those, and I would use that to record audio tapes from time to time. And we played a game of Baseball All Stars, but then we announced it like we were sports announcers announcing a real game. And partway through it, the Nintendo froze, like the game froze. You know, you're playing and all of a sudden it's like, nah, and like you're done. There's no recovery after that. And blah 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 blah. And so, and I remember that was one of those times we pulled the game out and blew on it and blew on it and blew on it, and it just would not work. And we finally got it back in, but we pretty much like killed time. And we tried to act like we were having technical difficulties because we were, and that kind of fit with the whole dynamic of what it was just, it was so ridiculous. Just all that of which was going on. And yeah, we finally got it back in and were able to finish it. And yeah, that was something we did. We used to do like Beavis and Butthead impersonations, which means actually like Jason did Beavis and Butthead impersonations because I was younger than him and couldn't do impersonations to save my life. My impersonation of Beavis was just like a nasally little kid. That's literally what I sounded like. I remember we even had a, this just, should show you my age. So Jason was my best friend. And one of the main reasons he was my best friend was he was about a year and a half older than me. So when you're like 8 years old and you have like a 10-year-old best friend, like you idolize that person. And I idolized Jason. I literally, no exaggeration, called him every day after school when I got home to ask if he could play. And a lot of times his mom would answer and say, I'm sorry, Steve, Jason's not available. And I'm sure a lot of that was Jason being like, Mom, I like Steve, or Steven. I was Steven at the time. But I can't friggin' play with him every single damn day. Yeah, I was that friend. And, God, what was that leading to? Oh, yeah, and so my taste, because earlier I was talking about how, I liked music to a degree when I was a kid, but then I kind of, from the time I was like 9 till I was 14, I didn't really listen to music. But I would listen to whatever he wanted to listen to because I wanted to come off as cool. And he was very much into the grunge scene. He had the, him and his brother would shoot. Oh, man, I'm going in the river. Maybe not. Wait, maybe not. Okay, I'm safe. Or maybe not. I think I'm stuck. I don't think I'm making it out of here. And no. Don't go in the water. Don't go in the water. Come on, make it. You can make it. You can. Nope, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it. I'm going in the water. I'm going in. Oh, now my car's stuck. Anyway, I found in this mess of old audio cassettes a recording because I had an old stereo thing that could record, like you could have a microphone plugged in that we'd obviously use to record our voices. But you could also record the radio playing at the same time. And I had a recording of my friend, and you can hear me in the background a little bit, but this song starts playing, and it's obviously a new song at the time. And you hear my friend, you hear the song, but you also hear my friend because we're recording off the stereo and off the microphone. And my friend's like, hey, oh yeah, no, dude, this is this cool new song. It's called When I Come Around by this band called Green Day, which Green Day is like one of my girlfriend's favorite brands, and I'm kind of indifferent to them. But at the same time, I was like, at that point in my life, I was like, oh yeah, Green Day's awesome because Jason liked them. But yeah, and so literally, I don't. The tape has got to be long gone by now. But yeah, I had this tape recording where you hear When I Come Around, which is like one of their early songs. And you can tell, like, the song's just kind of playing, but whenever the chorus started, my friend would get on there and be like, no time to search the world around. And it was obvious that, like, he was trying to show, like, oh, yeah, this is a cool new song, but it was new enough to where he only knew the chorus. Anyway, so there's a little personal side story from deep in my past. And I do have a few. I was able to convert some of these recordings to like CD files, and I have some stuff that I recorded saved. So I have some recordings of me when I'm like, 7, 8, 9 years old, and I sound like this. Which that's not really an exaggeration. That's pretty much what I sounded like. I also have, I'm probably going to post it on my YouTube channel just for posterity. I found, in fact, I have a stack of DVDs that are copies. They're copies of things I've recorded over time. Um, and I have this. I burned a copy of it because we shot it on a camcorder, a VHS camcorder, and it's called "How to Play." I don't know if you can see it that well. How to Play Little Basketball. Because I was obsessed with basketball, and like those little toy things you get with the little plastic rim and the squishy like Nerf ball. You play basketball. I called that little basketball. That was my term for it. So this is a video of me when I'm, I think, like 11. I may have been, no, I was 11 when I did this. And it's literally just me showing you how to play that kind of basketball. Because I did it all the time. I'd run around. I'd play like, mock games by myself where I was pretending to play in a real game with, a team and an opponent. But of course, it's just me. I loved doing that. Does that make me a loner? Yes. No, but seriously, so I'm thinking I might post that on my Facebook or on my YouTube channel at some point because it's, as far as I know, with the exception of my parents' wedding video, which they're divorced now, and I don't know if I'm ever going to see that again. That's the oldest video recording of me that I know of that I actually have in my possession that is accessible by me. So, hey, there we go. Anyway, yeah, so there's that. Now I'm just I'm rambling. I'm waiting for the next subject matter to come into my mind, figure out what to do with my life. Watch out. Wait, is that a cougar? Yeah, that's right, cougar. You better watch it. You've already murdered me a couple times, and I don't appreciate it. Can I get a hell yeah? Hell yeah. Ba, 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 ba. 12:16, or as I like to say, early evening for me. I have my sleep since the quarantine has started because I have no real need to go to sleep and maintain a certain sleep schedule. I know it's probably healthier for you and all that stuff, but my sleep schedule has been pretty much going to sleep at 5:30 and waking up at 2 in the afternoon consistently. And of course, when you wake, and I try to make myself wake up a little bit earlier, but then it just doesn't happen. And it was because now I've gotten into this. Like, obviously, when I get up, I start doing stuff. Usually, right now, I'm being, lazy on my. I'm not even doing missions anymore. I'm just driving around. I'm gonna go back to my man Trevor, the redneck, and try to actually do that hunting thing again. Even though I don't, I am not in a real world situation, not a hunting proponent. There's, unless you're in a situation where you're having to legitimately hunt for your food, hunting for sport, go fuck yourself. Like, I'm sorry. I have no sympathy towards, that's just my perspective. I'm not going to hate you as a person if you hunt for sport, but that's, if you're not doing it for a certain means or a certain purpose, I consider that just murdering animals. And I don't like it. Anyway, now that I've made my my pro animal pitch, how y'all doing? I see I've still got 5 of you on here. What 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 are y'all doing here? I can't possibly be that captivating. I actually really appreciate it when I get anybody on a live stream because there's like much bigger YouTubers than me that I've watched. I like like Dan Bell, who does a lot of urbex stuff. He does Another Dirty Room, which I love that series. I actually, when me and my girlfriend stayed at Chinook Winds, the casino on the Oregon coast, I did, and then I don't know what I did with the video, but I did kind of my own mock version of Another Dirty Room because there was some. I'm pretty sure there was cocaine on the curtains. But like he's done some live streaming stuff, and and here's a guy that has hundreds of thousands more subscribers than I do. And at the same time, he'll do a live feed and get 200-300 people at a get. I mean, obviously, the numbers fluctuate, but people that are a lot bigger than me, channel wise, will only get a couple hundred. You could have hundreds of thousands subscribers and only get a couple hundred people showing up for your live stream. So, as someone who barely has over 1,000 subscribers, I appreciate anybody that pops up during my live feeds, whether you stick around for the whole thing or stick around for 5 minutes. Like it's funny. I've probably gotten more views for this one than any other one I've done, and this is the one time I came in and set up and was like, I have nothing planned. I may just sit here and do commentary while I play my video game for a while. But we managed to find subject matter. We managed to find a correlation with each other or something. Yes, no, I do totally agree with that. The big ones. Well, and like obviously, if I see someone pop up, I want to be like, oh, hey, how you doing? But when there's like hundreds of people watching, and it gets to a point like people need to not expect when there's like 300, 400, 500 people showing up in a live stream, people shouldn't expect to get acknowledged when they pop up. Like, obviously, the person doing the live stream probably appreciates that you're there, but when there's people coming and going like that, it's annoying that half the live stream is like, hey, oh, Gretchen, what's up? Oh, there's Tim from Phoenix. There's Mike from England. Oh, that's cool. Anyway, as I was saying, I was going to start talking about Jimmy. How's it going? It's like, oh my God. That's how you get stuck taking, not that I'm one to talk, but that's how you get stuck taking, an hour to tell a 10-minute story. And, people show up at your live stream because, they like, whatever you're doing, and they think there's going to be something interesting that happens. They don't show up to hear you thank and obviously, say, I appreciate everybody who's here, everybody who shows up, every single one of you, is benefiting my channel, and every single one of you that shows up makes me want to continue doing this. All the things you do, all the reasons why you'd want to even do a live stream, from big deal things to, my situation where I just decided, hey, the heck with it. I'm just going to sit down tonight and do some live streaming. I'll be more than happy to tell all of you in advance. Any one of you that shows up, even if it's for 30 seconds, I appreciate that you took the time to click on it, see what it's all about. Even if you did click on it and were like, who's this shaggy-haired weirdo? I am not interested. Well, I mean, my God, there's millions of videos being posted daily on YouTube. I'm astonished I get any views when you think about just the influx of content that comes out. A lot of which is garbage, but still, there's just so much content that pops up. And I appreciate all your likes, all your support. I actually look forward when I post new videos to getting comments, even though I take forever to answer them, and sometimes end up doing a bunch of other stuff, and in the end I don't end up answering your comments at all. And then I come back like 2 weeks later and realize, holy crap, there was a comment that I check them in such a haphazard fashion that there's no rhyme or reason to it. And I need to adjust that situation so that, oh boy, the police are on me like flies on fly paper. That was not a great analogy. Pause for a sip. Ooh. All right. I'm still here. I'm still kicking. My voice is getting a little raspy. I can't believe I've been sitting here doing this for 3 hours. I feel like it's been like 40 minutes. I guess that's a compliment. Y'all have made me feel a desire to stay here and keep going. What else is there to talk about? What else is there? I'm running from the cops. I'm live streaming, and I'm trying to think of what to talk about. Here we go. I'm going up into the hills. This is like the only way you lose the cops. It's by driving up into the hills. Usually, although this truck is a piece of crap. Trevor, your truck sucks. You know, how do you expect to get away from the police driving? This is a beautiful landscape, though. This is very beautiful. Wait a minute. What is this? Wait, there's another road back? Oh, no. Railroad. Okay, perfect. Railroad tracks. Works for me. So what else am I? Because obviously, upcoming content I'm almost done with season 2 of Historic Murders of Portland series. I already have season 3 done. I have about 13, 14 episodes of that. Fortunately, I did all that before all this Corona nonsense started happening. There's actually, because right before this coronavirus thing started going on and all the schools had to close, a local Portland college, Concordia, actually said they were permanently closing their doors. And this had nothing to do with coronavirus. It was just, maybe they weren't getting enough students. They were running out of money. I keep having to adjust my position here. And and so in one of my later episodes to come, I point out that there was an ad on a building promoting going to Portland or Concordia. And I was like, haha, you should probably get rid of that sign because your school's going to be closed soon. And then all of a sudden, right after that, coronavirus kicked in, and now everybody's out of school. And there we are. What do Oregonians think about Portlandia? There's definitely, I'm kind of 50-50 with Portlandia. There's some really funny stuff, some stuff that is very, very accurate towards certain people they're portraying. And I also like there's some actors pop up that I've worked with before that I know, who I met in my experience making films, and I'll be like, oh, it's that guy. There's one woman that I was gonna have in one of my movies and it ended up not quite happening, and she's like a regular reoccurring person on Portlandia. Now, unfortunately, and definitely Portlandia helps perpetuate this. A lot of people think that that's all Portland is, is that it's just all trendy, artsy hipster. Because when a skit begins, they always say the address. My connection's becoming unstable. Hopefully it's gonna. And I noticed in the show they never go further east than 60th Avenue, and going eastbound, the city of Portland goes all the way to 180th, and it's my connection's unstable again. Stop doing that to me. And I feel like there's a very specific reason for that, and that is because the further east you go into Portland, the more rougher the neighborhoods get. And that's where you start getting to a lot of the stuff that isn't, everybody's perspective of Portland. There's a lot of, poverty and a lot of rundown homes, a lot of struggling people in Northeast and Southeast Portland. And the further away you get from downtown, the more it becomes like that. So it definitely, in terms of the show, there's not really a whole lot to offer in terms of, the main thing that they focus towards. Because it's not the trendy, hipster, artsy stuff that you get in other areas. So I feel like it does, unfortunately, kind of slightly misrepresent Portland, but it also represents it very well too. I'm sorry, I had to break through. But I mean, that one criticism aside, I actually do enjoy the show, and I enjoy a lot of the like. I love that Kyle MacLachlan is the mayor of the city, and he's just completely absent-minded. He's not much worse than our current mayor. I'm sorry, I'm not a fan. I'm not a big Ted Wheeler fan. Ted Wheeler has very much disappointed me as Portland's mayor, but he got on the joined this, you know, collection of city and town mayors in Oregon that put pressure on the governor to start the stay-at-home order. And because he like supported that, now suddenly a bunch of people think he's like God's gift to the city. And I feel like he's a lot of talk and not a lot of substance, unfortunately. And he's probably going to get reelected, and I hope a little bit of that changes, but I'm certainly not holding my breath on it, unfortunately. Um, uh, so, so yeah, that's my Portlandia perspective. I also do, because I do so much traveling around Portland. I do like it when they go to a location that I've vlogged at, because I mean, even though I've grown up in Portland, I've traveled around so much, there's still so much of the city that you don't see, and then you see something, you'd be like, how did I miss this last 30 some years of my life? Um, ooh, yeah. And it's for all of that which people think of when they think of Portland. Um, I don't know. I still love the city. I know a lot of people are like, these doggone sons of bitches came into our town and ruined it. And I mean, I absolutely. I mean, as a guy that's into like grungy stuff, I love the way Oregon used. Oh, I mean, I love all eras. I wish I could see so many different eras of Portland. I wish I could see Front Avenue back in the early 20th century when it was lined with all these cast iron buildings, and it was just beautiful. I wish I was alive to see when Waterfront Park didn't exist and Harbor Drive went through there. There's so many buildings that have been demolished that I wish I could have seen in person. So I mean, pretty much all eras of Portland interest me, and I at least appreciate that there's a fairly, not in every case, but there's a fairly genuine sense of caring and compassion. There's a lot of, like any big city, there's a lot of assholes in this city, but I feel like there's a lot of people that smile at you when you go by. There's a lot of people that say, "Hey, how you doing?" If I'm out for a walk or I'm out for a run and I pass people, no matter how nice or mean they may look, they usually acknowledge my presence, say, "Hi, how you doing?" So it's not, it ain't bad. And I mean, this is, I've always lived in Portland. So this is everything. For me, the furthest away I've been from home is whichever between Los Angeles and Vegas is further away from here is the furthest I've ever been. The furthest east I've ever been is, well, probably Vegas, because I know Vegas, the states all kind of swerve eastbound. Like I've done so, and obviously I want to do more traveling. Me and my girlfriend want to do a Disney World trip at some point. We also want to do a. She loves New Orleans, and I've never been. I really want to go to New Orleans. I mean, there's so many places I would like to go. I mean, especially considering the fact that I haven't been to a lot of places. So, logistically, you're like, yeah, I'm missing out on a lot of stuff I wish I wasn't missing out on. And so hopefully we'll be able to do. And obviously, when those trips occur, I'll be bringing my cameras and doing some vlogging. You better believe that. Every time I go anywhere that's new to me, I have that camera with me, because you never know. Something of substance is going to come up and you'd be like, man, I really wish I had this for my, even my girlfriend, we had a Vegas vacation last June. It pissed me off because I got hit with like a bout of, it was like a combination like homesickness, mixed with just a little bit of like some kind of weird vacation anxiety. And it really kind of messed up the trip a little bit. I still was able to enjoy it, but I was kind of off. I was kind of off my usual, my just norm for most of the trip. So it kind of tainted it a little bit. But I still vlogged a bit, and we ended up, having a pretty good trip overall. The flight home was garbage, though. This pilot was a. I doubt this guy was qualified to fly a friggin'. What do they call them? Puddle jumpers? Something like that? I don't know. So yeah, it's nice. It's very nice. You're in Vegas now. Yes. My girlfriend's just recently. A year couldn't even go by before she was like, "Oh, I miss Vegas. I want to go back to Vegas. When are we going back to Vegas?" And then the Vegas YouTube videos pop up on the TV, and I mean, you're in at that point. And yeah, so yeah, I mean, we'll definitely be going again at some point. Just when, who knows? I mean, I want to go again, but I also want to save up to go to new places I haven't been to before, and I've been to Vegas 3 times. I went in 2011. I went in 2016 with my girlfriend, and then we had our trip last June. And the 2011 trip changed my life, and I don't mean that in a. I've always wanted to do a video where I sit down and tell this complete story. Because when I say it changed my life, I don't mean like, oh man, I learned lessons I never would have learned elsewhere, and I'm a better man for what I mean. Like, it changed my life. Like, I have permanent leg injury. My right ankle is just permanently not as strong as it used to be. And in short, so I went to Vegas with some of my friends because we were able to go on the cheap. And this was August 2011. And to make it easier on us, because we were driving from Portland to Vegas, my friend, he went to University of Nevada in Reno for a year. And so we still had some friends there. And so we had a plan that we were going to, oh, Jesus. We had a plan that we were going to, on the way back, we were going to stop in Reno and stay the night at the frat house there that the guy that was like the president of the frat knew my friend, so we were allowed to stay there for the night. And he went off, reconnected with a bunch of his friends. I didn't eat all day because I used to be able to do that and not feel like I was going to die because I was like, 24 years old or something. And we're at a frat house. So essentially they have a couple of snacks and booze. And so they give me, one of the guys brings me over a glass of Crown Royal, and he's like, "Hey, Steve, I'm, so-and-so. What's up? How you doing? Listen, we're going to be having a party later. We're going to have some girls come over and want to get you nice and loosened up." Apparently they were going to try to hook me up with someone. And so it was like, here's a full, a glass about that big of Crown Royal. And I'm like, all right, whatever. Yeah, we'll have some fun. But I hadn't eaten all day. And then they brought out the beer pong table, and here I am. I'm a guy who's never played beer pong before at that point. And we start playing. And I'm one of those guys that's pretty good at beer pong, but I have to get right on the verge of losing before I get really good. So I end up having to drink a lot of beer before I finally, make like 4 or 5 shots in a row. And so I start getting really drunk really quickly because, again, no food in my system. And I started wandering incoherently around this frat house when this party started. And every time I walked by the fridge, I opened it and cracked open. This is how I know I was drunk, because I hate beer. And I'd crack open another beer and chug a bunch of it. And I literally, I became blackout drunk. And I never get blackout drunk. I get really drunk, but I don't get blackout drunk where I forget everything. And that happened. that happened with your old amateur historian here. And, you know, there was still some of my other friends there, but some of them went to bed, and pretty much there was my friend Jesse. He was like the only one still there. And so I guess he felt a sense of responsibility for me or something. And they decided they were going to go out to a casino because it's Reno. And so so they decided to take me, who, mind you, is blackout drunk at this point. They decide to take me out to the casino with them. I guess because they didn't know what else to do with me, and I was already too just out of my mind that like they thought I wouldn't, you know, be able to take care of myself. And so they took me to a casino with them. They probably should have just pressured me to go to bed or locked me in a room, and I would have been like, oh, yeah, out until, of course, I passed out and gave up. And so they take me to a casino, and I just start running around, and I'm no longer in control of my inhibitions. And we're at the thing not even that long, and all of a sudden, they look around and they realize, where's Steve? And I was out in the middle of nowhere, so I had to kill my character. And yeah, and so they have to start looking for me because I'm drunk and I'm lost, and they don't know what happened to me, and I could be anywhere. I could have wandered out of the casino for all they knew. And the frat president guy shows up, or he's the one that ends up finding me. But he's got a bad knee. I think they said from like an old wrestling injury. So he found me, but he couldn't keep up with me. He did what everybody does. He went to the restroom to see if I was there, and he found me. And he ended up, when he found me, I was in the men's room, nude. I'd stripped all my clothes off, and I was just like laying on the floor next to the toilet, like not my proudest moment. And so he's like, okay, Steve, come on, let's go. So I come to my feet and just go to run out of the restroom. Mind you, I'm still naked. And so he got one hand on me, and that one hand grabbing me and stopping me is the one thing that kept me from running out into the lobby naked. And so managed to get my clothes back on. But again, this guy has an old nagging knee injury. And so once we walk out of the restroom, I just take off running again. I'm just running around. And of course, you know, it's not great when you've got a belly full of booze to be running around shaking it all up. And so I run out into the lobby. I'm right there in the middle of it all, and I just start projectile vomiting. And I'm creating such a freaking disturbance that the security showed up, and my friend, now of course this isn't my memories. This is what I was told. Because again, I'm blackout drunk and I don't remember any of this. I have no memory of any of this happening. But my friends or the people that were there said that they were on the verge of arresting me. And again, I say, why did you take me to the casino with you in the state that I was in? That's how I avoid holding myself responsible for my actions. And they asked me, they were like, where's your wallet? Where's your info? And I kept saying, well, I don't know. And in the end, it was literally in my pocket the whole time, my wallet. And they told, you know, my friends are like pleading with the guys, and they gave them a fake name for me, so they never did get my real name. And finally, they were just like, get out. Just take your drunk ass friend and get him out of here. And they had to get me a wheelchair because I'd gotten to a point I was so out of it that I couldn't stand under my own power anymore. And so when I get drunk, one thing I do remember is my neck gets really loose. So I'm like, like this a lot when I mean, at least I think I'm that way. I haven't been legitimately drunk in a long time. I don't really drink as much as I used to, which is good. I drink casually from time to time, but we get on to we're ready to leave. Like I've ruined things for everyone. We need to get out of here before we all get in trouble. And so they end up wheelchairing me into an elevator, and there's this like debonair middle-aged woman there to win herself some cash at the casinos, and she sees these guys roll me in on a wheelchair. I'm sitting in a wheelchair and I'm just kind of like doing this, and my friend turns to her and she's like, "Oh no, he doesn't have like a condition or anything. Um, he's just really drunk." And the woman apparently said, well, I've been there. Just so embarrassing. And then they got me. They managed to, they managed to get me into a cab, and we get back and they tell me like, Steve, you're drunk, you can barely stand up, wait for us to come around to, let you out of the car, let you out of the cab. I pay no attention to this. I see everyone getting out of the cab, and I'm like, all right, I can get out of the cab. And I get out of the cab, and I start running towards towards the frat house, and it's on a really beat up cul-de-sac where like the curbstone, like usually here's the street and here's the curb. Well, this is one of those things where the ground's kind of like this, so the curb is like a foot high. So being a former track athlete, I run and try to hurdle it up onto the grass, and came. What was it? I came down all my weight, and of course my body is just limp. All my weight came down on my ankle, and I thought I sprained it, but no, I actually broke it. Now, mind you, the frat house party is in full swing. There's people inside the house partying, there's people out front partying. I'm now laying on the grass in front of the frat house, drunk off my ass, in severe pain now because I've just broken my ankle. And I'm just like, ah! And of course, the guys I was with quickly came over and helped me, but apparently in my mind, it took them like 10 minutes to come over to me. And apparently I was laying there saying something like, why won't anybody help me? And they come over and they lift me up and they carry me into the house. And I'm like, oh, you guys are so nice. And then they just threw me down on the sofa. They didn't get ice for my ankle. They didn't wrap it. They threw me down on a sofa and just let me sleep. Woke up the next morning, stains on my shirt, and I'm like, did I hurt my ankle last night? And then I go to step on it, and I'm like, oh, yeah. And then the big ending of that was one of the guys we were with. He hadn't seen his grandparents in years, and they lived in Reno, so we went to have breakfast with them. And I show up, and we're giving him this story about how I tripped down the stairs and sprained my ankle at the frat house. I'm not going to tell him that, and just because it was embarrassing, And so we end up, and I haven't eaten anything, so I'm like, I want anything in my system now, even though I'm kind of queasy. And I actually woke up and wasn't really that queasy, and then the hangover took effect, and I just started feeling just gross inside. And so I accepted a glass of orange juice. I drank some orange juice on a boozed up stomach. And the next thing you know, I'm like, excuse me, can I go to the restroom real quickly? And I just destroyed their bathroom with vomit. Just horrible. And what's so funny is his grandmother started taking care of me, and his friend's like, man, I don't want you to have to be doing this for my friend. Like, we're just trying to have breakfast. And she's like, no, shut up. Steve, you come over here. I'm going to take care of you. And of course, we're still telling the story that I tripped down the stairs and sprained my ankle. And then I later found out that the guy we were with, his grandfather, was a recovered alcoholic. And so after I, with the bad ankle, and then after I went in and threw up, presumably, oh, I got a stomach bug or something, he leaned in close to me and said, "So how much did you drink last night?" I was like, okay, you got me. You got me, old man. So yeah, we call that, what is this story? We call it the Ballad of Reno Steve. That's the name we've given to the story. So that actually was a nickname I had at work for a while. And every now and then someone will still bring it up. Because a lot of the people I went with on that trip were people I worked with. So the story got around eventually. And so I was known as Reno Steve for a while, and we call that story the Ballad of Reno Steve. Wish I could get a country musician to come and do a musical rendition of what happened. After a week in Vegas with the boys, your old pal Reno Steve. Oh crap, I've been exiled from the city. I forgot about that. Well, there's a good way to fix that. Just change the character. Or not. Crap. I think wait, is it like when you're being chased or is it come on. Okay, well for some reason I can't change characters right now. No, it's all good, police. I didn't mean to come back into town. My bad. I will get out of town lickety-split, except I think I'm actually going deeper into town. Don't worry about me. I'm out of here. What are these big... What are these... Oh, crap. So the police are after me, and the guy that exiled me from town has sent his goons after me. Well, ain't this just the pits? Welcome to Los Santos, bitches. Brief pause. And I will be right back. I have to, I'll be right back. I'm back. Pardon, I just had to visit the rest. Oh God, where am I at? 3 hours. I've been going at this for 3 hours. So, not necessarily just reposting older videos. It's clearly abandoned, but it was still locked up, and I could see there was like a few random art, like circle around the house had been taken, but there was like a chair that had been left. There was so much stuff left behind, but everything that was left behind seemed very indicative of like an older person. All messed up. Is it back? I started seeing people were like, "Oh no, your video's fading. Maybe I'm just doing it for too long." It just said my signal went out. It's saying it's back, or it's not showing that my signal's messed up. So hopefully you're still there with me. Otherwise, it's just me talking to nobody. But hello everyone, anyone? It's still showing that it's going. I honestly don't know why this thing cuts out from time to time and why it says that suddenly oh shit. I don't know why I randomly sometimes start to lose my signal. considering I'm getting my signal literally from a spot 8 feet away, right over here. Hello? Okay, it says, it's still saying that comments, unable to connect to chat, please try again later. And yet it seemed, hold on. I'm going to keep you going, because I'm not going to stop it now just to restart after I've gone for this long. Just put out a question, see if anybody, anything? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Well, I'm just going to keep going. Might as well, because I'm not going to be doing it much longer anyway. I gotta, unless I'm out to set a record for the longest live stream ever done. But anyway, so again, there was all of this stuff that was very indicative of like older working man type stuff. But then there was these little random, like I found a notebook that obviously it belonged to like a teenager, and it was very much like a notebook that it had a bunch of like stuff from, like, when people are in middle school, they'll put like, especially during my day going to middle school, they would like put pictures of celebrities they really liked on the cover of their binders and stuff. I found one of those that, based on the people that were on there, this looked like it was a binder from like 1998 or something. And so, and of course, when we did this exploration, it was like 2017. So it was like some kid, probably a girl. There was like assignments in there written in like pink pen. So I got the vibe that it was probably a girl. And there was that in there. So it was very strange. And my, crazy, chaotic mind, I almost wish I would have at least taken down the name of the person whose assignment it was, because, again, there's like the vibes I got that someone maybe bailed from this house, in a rush with haste. And the fact that it was a house out in the middle of nowhere, I kind of got serial killery vibes from this house, not gonna lie. And the fact that it was all just old stuff that like an old man would have, and then suddenly there's like this girl's notebook from like 20 years ago or something that seemed just oddly out of place. And like, it could have been someone who lived there. It could have been his daughter. It could have been any number of innocent things, but I got serial killer vibes out of it. Of course, having chainsaw parts on the wall doesn't exactly soothe the situation, but I still think about that adventure from time to time. And what might it, and that's why I almost wish I would have taken at least like the name down of the person whose assignments were in that notebook, and I didn't. And I could have looked it up and seen if maybe, probably not the case, but maybe that was a missing person, and I may have just stumbled onto something crazy like that. That's obviously probably just my mind running wild, but still, there's those little things that, like, in the moment when we were adventuring, like, are kind of side things. Yeah, it's still looking like I don't know if people are. I mean, it still says there's 5 people looking at my live stream. So I'm hoping people are still able to see it and not commenting. I don't know if the video's fine and the chat is just not working great. My apologies if it isn't. This is going to be a really messed up ending to the video, if that is the case. But I mean, I'm gonna stop soon anyway. My throat's getting hoarse, and I've been up here for almost 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours. God, where does the time go? This is how I woke up this morning, and I'm 34 years old, trapped at home in a quarantine because people won't friggin' be smart and just. If people would just quarantine themselves and just accept the stress of having to be stuck at home for a while, this stuff would pass quicker. But nope. You gotta have that succession of people that are just selfish as hell and just won't stay home. And I have to go out, man. I'm sick of being at home and I want to party with my bros. And then that's a bunch of people start going out now that they've laxed things a little bit. And what's happening? We're having spikes in coronavirus cases again. Who would have thought? Damn people. What's going on here? I haven't seen this before. I need a vehicle. Well, I got a vehicle. It ain't in good shape, but I mean, it's beat up, but oh man, I still can't believe I gave Trevor a mullet. Yeah, get it moving. Yeah, that was not going to end well. No, so this is I just come here to fix everything up. Well, yes, I'm sure I want to exit this place. So I'm gonna. Sorry. So I just ran into the guy that runs the garage, and when I ran into him, all of a sudden the thing came up and said, "We're closed." And now the police are after him. Well, I guess I'm going up into the hills again. But yeah, so my plan is, again, for tomorrow, if any of you can even still see me, could be nobody's actually watching my live stream anymore, just there were 5 people watching when it weirded out. And so it's just saying there's still 5 people watching, but if there are still 5 of you watching, thank you for sticking around with me at 1:06 a.m. on well, now it's Wednesday morning. Look out. I'm coming through your backyard. There you go. Got the police on my tail, and I'm riding fearless. Going through the covered bridge. If I don't crash, okay, I made it through. I was gonna wipe out. Oh, jeepers creepers! How you doing today, Mr. Officer of the Law? So yeah, I'm thinking tomorrow probably gonna start some of those videos, those kind of John Doe type videos, mystery videos, cold case things that I was studying. I'm really in. I might just do some more research too. I'm really in a research, discover new cases kind of phase right now. And of course, I just took down a boatload of new cases for what will be, if I ever get out of this house again, it'd be season 4 of Historic Murders of Portland. I was thinking I'd probably stop with season 4, but I just discovered 30 new cases or whatever, and there's still 15 cases that I discovered a while back that I want to do videos. So we're talking, I've got 30 cases to cover at least. So I might start taking notes on some of those so that those are just ready again when I can ever leave the house again and feel safe that I'm not going to get sick out there walking around the city. And if I am sick, not make somebody else sick. Because that is the objective at this time and place. And again, I don't know. By all implications, my live stream is still going. The countdown is still going. And, or, it's still showing that, it's going. I haven't gotten any comments in 13 minutes, so I'm guessing. But it also just says you're unable to connect with chat. It doesn't say, like, your thing is down. It just says chat's not working. So my apologies. I do not know why that is happening, and I don't know what necessarily to do about it. And what's funny is, if I don't know what to do about it, one of you might know what to do about it, but you can't tell me because chat isn't working. Yeah, anywho, get away from me, Jeep, you Jeep bastard. Oh boy, I have a headache now. Oh no, I do not want to go this way. I am in trouble. Hey, boys in blue. God, your Jeeps are slow. I also think I just have a headache from just talking so much. I need some ibuprofen. Uh-oh. Well, that was close. So yeah, so I might start videoing a little bit tomorrow. Oh Jesus, I'm stuck. Shit, I wanted to steal your car, dude. Oh no, they're shooting me in the back. Sons of bitches. Who shoots someone in the back? But yeah, whatever the case, there's definitely going to be a lot of work getting done over the next few days, unless something happens that changes that. Okay, there you go. Yeah, that's right. Stop your car so I can steal it. That's what I need from you right now. So my apologies to, again, for not being able to... Oh, geez, we got some boys with some big trucks trying to run me off the road. I do not appreciate that. Yeah, so I'm going to start going through those cases, get a few historic murders of Portland things going. Oh, wait, these guys are trying to stop me. Are these guys helping the police? Wait, why are the ice trucker guys trying to help? Are they undercover? All right, this is risky. I'm going up into the hills. This rugged terrain. Oh boy, I hope I got a little bit of space on them because it is not a smooth drive through here. This be the wilderness. This here is God's country. Hey, get out of the way, cougar. Oh, shit. Okay, no. I held the road. I held the road. Uh-oh. I hear a cop. I hear them. They're getting closer. I don't know where they're at, but I hear them. Oh, man, I'm down by the river. Down by the riverside. Down by the riverside. Okay, steady. Steady. Get out of the road, wolf. I don't want to hit you, but if you're going to run right in front of my car, like, what do you expect? Yeah, I don't even know. I wish chat was working because I don't know. I was going to be like, hey, what else do you want me to talk about? Because all I'm really thinking about is, well, stuff that I want to do videos on that I'm not going to necessarily want to talk about too much because then that ruins the surprise. And oh, snap. Now I'm back to where I was when I started this video, where I'm kind of just gaming and commenting on it. which is fine by me. Wait a minute, I'm going back to Franklin. So I'm wondering if maybe there's something fresh to do with Franklin. Good old Frankie. Driving around town, making it happen. So he was the last guy that was actually, well, and there's like one mission where I have to actually like get to the rooftop of a building on a helicopter, and I'm not good with the flying in this game. That is the one thing I am not good at, is flying. Oh, I get it. They call the phone iFruit because Apple. God, I'm an idiot. Took me that long to realize that. Dumbass. Yeah, let's see. Let's see what's going on. Let's get some of that nightlife or early morning life. I'm not sure exactly. Yeah, where am I gonna get I also like, if I'm gonna have to fly, how am I gonna do that? How am I gonna actually fly? I don't even know where I would get a plane at, other than the hangar way on the other end of town. Well, I guess we're driving to Sandy Shores. That's a long drive. Oh shit. All right. Well, sorry, I just destroyed your front yard, sir. It was no ill intent implied. God, this car's gonna be fried before I make it out of the city. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get a helicopter or a plane, and probably helicopter would be best. I'm terrible at flying in this game, though, so the idea that I have to land on top of a building, not exactly excited, but you know what? We're going to give it a shot. And you know what? If I screw up and crash enough times, it'll let me skip the mission. What a gamer I am. Oh man, I'm driving way too fast. Going downhill. This is, oh man, I'm going to die. Oh shit. Oh, hell, okay. No. Made it. All right, now. Trust in the system. Yeah. The chat is defunct. Well, I'm just hanging out here. What is it? Yeah, the numbers haven't changed in terms of the number of likes and the number of people watching, so I'm thinking it's just stuck on that, and there's probably like nobody watching this anymore. Am I driving back into the city? Please tell me I'm not driving back into the city. Stop. Where am I? Okay, so I am kind of going back into the city. Yes. Okay, there's the city, and I need to be okay, if I turn around. Well, wait, hold on. Waypoint. What's waypoint? Oh, no, that actually takes you by the airport. Good. Okay, I'm only about 1.5 miles away. Steady. Well, sorry, the chat cut out. I'm just gonna let it roll, because I know the moment I hit stop, I'll think of something to say, or something semi worth talking about, and this is also just kind of there for y'all's interest. Oh my god, I can't drive this thing anymore. This car's falling apart. I must have a messed up Oh yeah, that front tire's all messed up. That's why I ain't driving so smooth. But I'm almost there. Oh, sorry. My bad. I'm busy, dude. You don't want to get robbed? Don't let yourself get robbed. Son of a bitch. Come on, you can do it. Oh wait, well now it's saying 6 people are watching. So are we back? I don't know. I don't know what's wait. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know who I am anymore. I'm just a guy trying to get his gameplay on. Okay, well, there's people here. Why are there people here at the airport? Oh no, those are lights. Okay, I need a helicopter, and I know Trevor put one here, so I better find me a damn helicopter, or I'm gonna kick someone's front door in. Ah. Here's the helipad, and the helicopter's gone, even though it should be here. What is... There's a race here to get... You can get around the door, idiot. Oh, there's a plane. Stunt plane time trials. That does not sound safe. God damn. Oh, I crashed. I just came here. I just came here for a helicopter. Yes, quit. I don't want to do it. That's why I hit quit the first time. Ah, yes. Doggone it. I mean, I don't know what to do. I need a helicopter. I need a flying device. Get out of here, birds. You honking at me? I'll kick your freaking door in. Nice hat, moron. Yeah, you don't want to get hurt. Did you just call me a dirtbag? Work on your banter. So there's nothing here. There's no helicopter. Why did I waste all my time going to the other side of town? Yeah, that's awesome. So I'm just supposed to magically find a helicopter when I can't even find one. Well, you can always try going to... I can always... of course, I'm stuck. I can always try going to the airport. Oh my god, can you just back the frickin' truck? Oh god, of course I would get stuck. Like an idiot. Alright, well I need to get a fast car because this is going to take me forever to get back into the city with a truck. Should have just gone to the airport in the first place. But I was born a dingus and I will die a dingus. At least that's the plan. Yeah. So it's 1:22 a.m., or as I should say, early evening for me. I've still got like a couple hours before I usually go to bed, but I don't know. I'm already starting to feel kind of wiped out. Maybe this would be a good night to start having a slightly more structured sleep schedule. That's good. I didn't realize you could do that. Oh man, I'm exhausted. I need to eat again too before I go to bed. I know you shouldn't be eating late at night, but that's also, under the idea that you go to sleep at a reasonable time, which I am not. So, yeah, I gotta eat again one more time. I gotta get a few more calories into me, or I'm gonna crack like an egg. And it is a beautiful starry night. Look at that! Look at that moon. Ugh, beautiful. Ooh, a bike. Yes. Fuck you. I'm taking your bike. Did you just say, do you want to see what a sick fuck I am? I'm sorry, but you threatened me, and that was not acceptable. I mean, not exactly like the several bullets I just pumped into you. Is like, you shouldn't have threatened me, man. I just wanted your bike. You should have let it go. So is life in Los Santos. Or I guess, am I still in Sandy Shores? I don't know. I don't even know if you can hear this music. I may just look like I'm shaking to nothing. In which case, I mean, I kind of am. That music ain't here. That music's part of their fictitious world. Oh man, I'm getting hazy. It's getting to be that time. It's like I want to just kind of leave the live stream going, but I also am realizing that I'm kind of at a point that I'm lacking in substance anymore because I've been live streaming for almost 4 hours and talking at depth for a better part of that, and just getting tired. But like I'm not quite ready to stop. I want to try doing this one mission. I just need to get my hands on a damn helicopter, and to hell with anybody who tries to stop me from achieving that dream. By the way, I mean, I don't even know if at this point anybody's even watching anymore. If you are, thank you, even though I can't even know for certain if you're even hearing that. Thank you for still hanging out with me, even as I'm sitting here being no longer very productive. But you had the first 3 hours of productivity out of me. Now it's just kind of me fading into obscurity. Yeah, and I still think the comment chat is still de facto. Is that the right term? Probably. God, I'm so shaving this freaking beard tomorrow. That's also going on. Oh, God. Stop looking for a second. Get up and get back on your bike. Don't be a baby. After you get thrown to the ground because I wasn't paying attention. I keep having to take my hand off and itch my underneath my nose because it gets so dry. The beard hair is definitely not helping that either. That's definitely drying me up more. My face is just getting real dry. Whoa, what the hell was that? Is this a fight? What's going on? You're welcome. Damn it. Now I have stars, though. It's going to be a lot harder to get a helicopter now. I should have just ignored that and let those guys shoot that guy, but he was a good Samaritan, and I protect my good Samaritans. Or my fellow Samaritans. Not really. I was actually not a very well-focused teenager. Whoa. Don't get into my personal life, man, on the radio. God damn it. See, I can't get around this guy. Don't you try and kill me. I'm a bad bitch. Ah, crap. I didn't want to go this way. Well, whatever, it works. Still gets me to the aeropuerto. Crap. Hello, officer of the law. I'm not gonna get, come on, there's gotta be, there's a helipad, but there's no helicopter. I'm on a motorcycle asking to get rammed off of it. Okay, there's a plane. Crap, I don't think there's... It's also nighttime, so I can't really tell. Oh, shit, I'm at 3 stars. Never mind, they're not going to forget about me. Man, all I wanted was a frickin' helicopter. Oh man, they're coming at me while I'm going right back at them. Oh shit. Shit! Okay, well I'm dead. Oh man, he just capped me a lot while I was down on my luck. Sometimes that's how it goes. I don't know where to get a damn helicopter. That's the focus of my life now, is just finding me a helicopter, you know? Do what you can. Do what you can to get by in this life. Oh god, relax. I'm starting to get a little bit chilly. Well, I got murdered. So just try and do this mission. And it says, I mean, you can parachute down there, but the whole point is getting to the top of the building. So I just have to get to the top of another building to parachute. Dude, I should steal your car just because of that haircut. The haircut was garbage, dude. Okay, so let's get me back to the airport and just hopefully this time I don't have a 3 there. They say it's been like compromised and I have to come back later. Another reason I wish chat was still open, because maybe someone could pop on forever to try to find a solution, which is kind of dumb because, well, you know, I'm acting like it's a waste of time to do that, but then I'm also wasting more time by continuing to play, knowing what really to do next. So really, I'm a jackass in the situation, but just give me a damn helicopter. It's like one of the only things I can still do right now. Sorry, bro. Oh, God. No, no, that was on my nets. That's going to cost a lot of money. I just want to get to the frickin' airport without having police chasing me. And then, of course, I need to try to find a freaking helicopter. I keep seeing empty Steady, steady, fella. Jeez, get it together. Why did you record that game crashing into something like an idiot for no reason? Sorry, bro. God damn it. Okay, so that's what happened. I know it wasn't just me. How about you? You looking, man?